Hey guys, sorry about being 7 minutes late. Still waiting on Joey. Joey said he woke up a little bit late, so I'm just gonna get this started. Um, so as of right now, it's probably gonna be another 20 to 30 minutes before Joey gets here. He says, depending on traffic. So I just want to get this up and running at least, so that we're ready when Joey gets here. So. Again, sorry it's just me for right now, but that will change. And yeah. So, while we're waiting on people to kind of get in here, oh, okay, so no one's here yet. Sweet. Okay, well, again, we've got the Game of Thrones live playthrough that's going to be coming in this Monday. Okay, there we go. Starting to get some people in chat. You're probably 30 seconds behind right now, so just as a refresher. Oh, one of the people watching is Ben. Okay, so yeah, Joey's going to be here in about 20-30 minutes. I will, probably be saying that a lot as more and more people kind of get in here. But hello, Ben. Ben, you could probably come over. I mean, you could be here in you'd probably be here before Joey will. So, surprise guest, Ben! Could do that, possibly. We'll see if you want to do that. What do you think, Ben? Yeah, so again, sorry that Joey's not here right away. Joey said he woke up a little bit late, so hopefully around 12:30, 12:40 he should be here. So just letting you guys know on that. Things to talk about. Anyone want to start a topic of discussion to pass the next 20 or so minutes? Shows potentially that we would think about doing. I've been interested in getting people to watch Dark. I've already watched Dark. Jessica's already watched Dark. It's a really good TV show that is similar to Stranger Things, but it's in German. I think watching it with the original German on is good, and just using English subtitles. I tend to like hearing how the original actors did it. I usually don't like English voiceover, but yeah, debating on who I would get to watch that with. I know that Ben's girlfriend has already seen Dark, so we'll see. Yes. Missing the reactions. We will be doing the reactions yet again, so thank you. We will be releasing episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Westworld Season 2 again. Well, I have only released episode 1, but that got blocked by copyright, as I kind of explained in the previous video. We will continue on with that, though. So, yes. Reactions will be back. And I'm just debating on the next show that I want to do, because Westworld Season 2, we've really only got to record 7 more episodes, and then I can go on into something else. So I could, and Dark is a show that's only 10 episodes, so that's also another really quick one that we could do. I'll talk with Joey, see what he's feeling when he gets here. I don't know why the internet is being kind of slow right now. That's strange. But yeah, so again, feel free to ask any questions while we're waiting for Joey to kind of pass the time a little bit. I didn't want to start the stream half an hour late, just because, if I say I'm going to do it at 12, I wanted to get it at least somewhat close to 12. So, we can just kind of chill while we're waiting on Joey, or I could just restart the stream, but I figure it's probably best to just get people in here and all that jazz. So Ben, are you coming over? See that you say the couch looks nice and comfy, but haven't responded to as to whether or not you want to also come over here and do this, because that could make things interesting at least. Yeah, so other potential possibilities as far as shows are concerned. I know I've been talking about Walking Dead a lot. Just haven't really gotten around to it. And I don't know if I like the idea of starting short shows like Dark or Westworld, since there are only 20 episodes in. Short shows seem to be easier to get into, and then when like new seasons come up, it's not as crazy. You know, you just need to do one episode a week. Black Mirror. So I have the problem with Black Mirror is that I've seen a lot of episodes, but I don't know which one. I know I've seen most of the stuff from season 3 on, and I've seen a handful of things from season 1, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, I love that show. I would totally be down to watch it with someone that has not seen it. So when Joey gets here, I will talk to him and see if that's something that he would be interested in. I love the whole modern day Twilight Zone kind of feel that it has, with more of like a technology base rather than I mean, I guess Twilight Zone wasn't always aliens, it could also be technology, but modern day Twilight Zone, it's a really, really cool concept, and there hasn't really been an episode that I didn't like. So yes, that's definitely a possibility, and it's also reasonably short. I don't think the seasons are all that long. Plus, I mean, you don't even technically have to watch them in order, because there's not really a through thread. A through thread? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, each episode stands on its own. So yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility. But yeah, no, some shows like Walking Dead that are like 8, 9 seasons right now or something like that, and then Vikings is a ton of seasons. It's just a big commitment to get into as of right now, even though I know games that I would like to play with both of those. So we'll see. Again, it also depends on the people that want to watch stuff with me. So I know there's a friend of mine, Rachel, that is interested in also watching stuff on here and playing games. So I mean, I've got plenty of people that are interested in going through that stuff. So I've got plenty of people, plenty of TV shows to watch, because I myself am far behind. I've only seen so many modern shows. I haven't even seen The Sopranos yet. But, you know, aside from Dexter, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Westworld, I mean, Dexter is not modern, I guess. It came out a while ago, but still, like, there's not a lot of modern shows that I've really seen. So, but again, another thing with reaction channels is it's also got to be a show that gives good reactions, too. So, like, I wouldn't mind going back and watching Quantum Leap, but I don't know exactly how interesting that would be, because there's not a lot of like, oh my god, that is so crazy. So yeah, I mean that's another thing that I try to balance with it as well, being like, well, how interesting would it be to watch, you know? So we'll see. But I do, like I said, Dark is one that I'm really gonna try and get going. Black Mirror would be a good one. I think the one I was mentioning earlier, Rachel, she's only seen 2 episodes of Black Mirror, maybe. The final one, like the Black Museum or whatever, and then also San Frangelico or that episode where the 2 ladies are in that simulation for, well, I don't want to spoil it. Kind of already did spoil it. You know the one I'm talking about. So those are the only 2 episodes she's seen. So if we started from the beginning, unless she's gone on and watched it by herself, we could do those episodes with her, I think. And again, I can see if Joey has already seen it or not. So, yep. As far as other things going on, Jessica has a new job. I don't know if you guys knew that since we've done stuff, but it's a 9 to 5 job, 9 to 6 job. So she really will only be able to watch stuff on weekends, or it would be later, like 7 o'clock, 7:30. So I tend to like recording in the mornings because more natural light comes out of the window to my left, your guys' right, because then I don't have to bring in lights from the bedroom and stuff. So natural lighting is pretty nice. But yeah, no, she works with Deluxe Entertainment right now, where we've got like she works with the subtitling division for the Warner Brothers account, so that's really cool, and it's a lot less stressful than the previous job she had, so she's liking that. Coming. All right, someone's here. Might be Ben. I knew it. Benjamin is here. So let's get this back up.
Yo!
Surprise guest, Ben.
Live 2 blocks away.
Yeah, no, like I saw Ben in the chat, and I'm just like, might as well have him come over.
Yeah, because
so,
you have like 20 or 30 minutes before Joey gets here?
Yeah, no, he'll be here like 12:30, 12:40, I think he said. So woke up late. So how you been?
Good.
Good. Like the couch?
I know, dude. It looks like my couch.
Right?
It looks really nice.
Yeah, and things are more straight now. Like it used to be like bent and stuff, but like I like the way it looks in the camera now.
It looks great.
I don't know if like me, Jonathan, like I could zoom the camera back, but I think 4 people could fit on this.
I mean, I'm definitely the widest person out of all of us.
Yeah. Zoom this camera back a little bit.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I could have it back there. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we can get back to the 4 people reactions, as well. So Ben, oh yeah, I know. I was already talking about. Well, I mean, you were probably heading over when I was talking about this, but you still haven't seen Dark yet. I mean, you said April has, but you still haven't seen Dark.
I've probably seen like 1 full episode, and like if she was watching the show, kind of like glancing up, seeing some stuff here and there. But it was
so it was in the middle of the season, so you kind of didn't really know what was going on.
I probably know a good amount of it because April would talk about it.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah,
you've seen the whole thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. They've only got 1 season right now. I think they're filming in Berlin right now for season 2.
Because it's a German show.
Yes, German show. Yep. So there is that. Oh, there we go. Wow, we're live. Okay. So yes, now we're starting to get people back. Hello. Will you react to season 7 history and lore videos? They're really good, and one of them outlines how the Targaryens, Westeros, in a similar style of how A Dance with Dragons is narrated. Yeah. Did I post episodes 5 or history and lore 5 and 6? I might have, but yes, no, definitely, I love history and lore. And actually, after the stream is done, we might just watch it.
I've never watched them
if we can find it. So we'll see how Joey's feeling. I don't know if Joey works at like 6 o'clock tonight or not.
I don't know.
Do you work tonight?
I work at 5.
You work at 5. Okay.
But like that's 5 hours from now, so
right. Yeah. So depending on how long this stream goes, we might even be able to, since we've already got the setup in here, because I don't normally like bringing my computer in here and redoing the internet and stuff. So since we've already got the stuff set up, yeah, we could probably watch History and Lore Season 7. So, Alexander, we will get that going. How the Targaryens correcting that. So, yep. Definitely one of the things we want to do. I didn't mention this in the update video the other day, but I do want to... I know I've been talking about posting all those fun Game of Thrones videos, like the Game of Thrones musical and all that stuff that we have recorded like a year and a half ago. So I want to get those edited and then upload them but not post them while I'm on vacation, so that when I'm away at home I can just post those like every couple of days, so that there's at least some consistent content going.
Yeah. What do you use to edit?
I use Wondershare from Filmora.
Okay.
I mean,
do you edit in proxy or do you edit in full? So like I've been doing a lot of video editing recently, and one thing that takes forever is editing in full, because like every single time you do anything, like it almost has to like buffer the whole thing.
Yeah.
So what a proxy is it's basically a very small file, but of the actual same thing.
Right.
And it's like it makes it so it's very easy to edit and do everything and clip in. It makes it really easy. Rendering still takes the same time, because what it does is then it looks at the actual video file.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, the editing doesn't take too long as I'm using an MP4 file. When I was editing Westworld Season 1, the main problem I had with that is I was recording in FLV, and editing took forever, because like anytime I would stop playing and go back, and even within the same clip, it would just take forever to like reload and stuff, and I found out that was because I was in the wrong file format.
Yeah.
The reason why I recorded in FLV though was because
you were crashing before.
Yeah. So there was one episode in season 4, I think. It was like season 4, episode 2 of Game of Thrones, that we were recording in MP4, and the computer crashed, and we lost the file almost, but then one of the users was actually able to save the file. But it was this huge thing that I'm just like, screw it, I'll record in FLV, so even if the computer crashes, we'll still have the files.
Yeah.
So it's on YouTube. The history and lore of season 7 is only half an hour. Oh, it's usually like an hour. So okay, that's a really quick one too. And there's the Conquest and Rebellion, which is 45 minutes, and it's phenomenal. Sweet. Yeah, no,
it's the same thing.
Okay.
So
it's there's a 30. Oh no, just the 45-minute one. I didn't know if there was a half-hour one and a 45-minute one, but it's looking like he probably just looked it up afterwards, and it's just the 45 minutes. So, yeah, no, definitely want to do that animation. Yeah, like they've just been getting better and better with the history and lores.
I've never seen any of them.
I would highly recommend it.
I know
they're really good. It helps people that haven't read the books kind of catch up a little bit.
Yeah. Have you read the books?
Not all of, no.
No.
I've started reading them, but I need to just get past it.
I've read the first one, and it's so hard for me, having seen all the show, to read the books.
Well, because a lot of the lines are pulled word for word out of the book, and it's just like, I know what's going to happen. But the thing is, the first book is the closest to the show also. Like, they started kind of taking liberties in the middle of season 2, I think people usually say. So then, once you get to the spots that are different, that's what I would actually kind of like seeing. Because obviously the Red Wedding is slightly different.
Yeah.
But yes. So for people, now that we got a few more people in here, Joey is coming. He will be here in the next like 5 to 15 minutes. It looks like he said 12:30, 12:40. So
I actually saw Joey yesterday.
Yeah.
We played a football turkey bowl in the rain.
Right.
LA and rain never happens, but it was raining that yesterday morning, we need it.
Yeah.
And
if people have been following the news about the wildfires, we badly needed it.
Yeah.
So Ben is just a nice surprise. He was like one of the first people in chat. I'm like, hey Ben, come over.
I was waiting. I was like 11:55, and I was like, oh, he's gonna be going live soon. And 12 o'clock rolled around. I was like, oh, he's late.
I know.
And then as soon as you popped on, I was right there.
Yeah, no, I at least wanted to get the stream going, so that we would have something going.
Yeah, I mean, because it takes a little bit of time for people to.
Because if I had waited till 12:30, 12:40 to start the stream, then people would have been like, "Well, it's just not happening." So I promise, Joey is coming. He's on his way.
Yeah. Yeah, about Westworld.
Yes.
So
yes, you.
I know Brian said in the video he released a couple days ago, yesterday maybe, that I had actually watched the whole season, but I actually haven't. it was getting a long time since we had watched any, and like the whole season had passed, and my girlfriend, she had watched the whole thing. She was like, "You need to watch it. It's so good," and she's pumping it up for me. And I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna hold out. And eventually, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna watch it." And I texted Brian. I'm like, "I'm gonna watch it." And even then, I actually didn't. I think I'm at maximum. I'm 3 episodes ahead of you, an absolute maximum.
Well, we are. Yeah, we recorded 3 episodes at your place.
And I think I am. I think I just watched episode 6, but when I say just watched, I probably watched it like 3 months ago.
Okay,
like, because I watched. I think I watched 2 in June, and then nothing, and then I watched another one, like a month or 2 ago.
Okay.
2 months ago.
So you might be up to episode 6.
Yeah, I would have to read like the little synopsis, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's where I am right now.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know. So, well, how are you feeling? Do you want to just, because like,
I mean, at this point, I could watch the rest of it.
It's up to you.
And then I could do the same thing I did for season 1, because I will have I will know everything.
Do you want your genuine reactions on camera?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of, like, what do you guys
or
think?
do you want to like put predictions down on like
yeah.
this?
Because like I like reacting and stuff with you guys too, but I also really enjoyed being the guy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, as the
Being
guy,
the guide is fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like maniacal, and that like you're just kind of like, I know everything that's gonna happen,
and just keeping that straight face and just being like,
yeah,
okay, you think that's gonna happen? Cool.
Yeah, I can watch it. Damn, this is comfy. I like the couch.
Yeah, it is a nice couch, and it still smells new. We literally just got this couch yesterday. It was a Black Friday thing.
There's more comments.
Not going to lie, tried watching Westworld, but I fell asleep during the 2nd episode, and I never got back to continuing it as I didn't know if it was worth it.
Alexandra.
Yeah,
it is.
It is a really good show. It's not a binging show though. That's the thing with it.
I remember if you go back and you watch our reaction series to season 1. I say it, and I think in the first episode, and I stress it again, probably for the first 3 to 4.
Yeah, 3-4 episodes.
That it's not binging. Like, it's such a...
You almost need to watch each episode twice.
Yeah, it's such a mental show. Like, I finished watching 1 episode and my brain is, like, tired.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, because it's just, they throw a lot at you. There's a lot to process. And so... trying to like talk about it after the fact and reacting to it, you're just like, okay, I'm processing. Oh God, I can't watch another one right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I would recommend it. It's a really, really well-written show. There's a reason why it won Emmys.
It was nominated for an outstanding amount of Emmys.
So give it another chance. I would highly recommend it.
I remember trying to sell Brian and Jessica and my roommate Jonathan on it, and I was like, 2 words: Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that man is
Anthony
brilliant,
Hopkins.
and the whole cast is so good, and the writing team for that show is.
And he got to meet one of the cast members, which we still haven't posted yet.
Oh my God! Yeah, I still have that on my Instagram. I think I still have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
So the guy that plays William.
Spoiler. William. Yeah. The guy who plays William, I met him where I work, and I work in a restaurant, and I firmly believe that when people are eating dinner, usually with their loved ones, I don't because I wait on a lot of celebrities and stuff, I don't ever approaching them as an actor to talk about the business or to say, oh my God, I'm such a huge fan or anything like that. I just wait on them, let them eat, and I let them do their thing. This was a really special case because this was one of the times where I was like, it was so serendipitous that we had just finished, because we finished watching season 1
right before season 2
came out. Right before season 2 came out. So I was like, yeah, we just finished watching season 1. We have a reaction channel. And his name is Jimmy Simpson. and he was like, "Oh, what's a reaction channel?" And I told him, Brian runs this channel where they watch shows and TV and they react to the show, and he has a pretty big audience because you have what, 4,000 subscribers.
I think we're at about 4,600 right now.
Yeah, and he thought it was so cool. He was like that. He's like, wait, so people watch your reactions and. Do you do the whole episode? I was like, well, we can't do the whole episode because there's like copyright stuff. I was like, but we watch the whole episode and they see our reactions to the highlights. And he was like, that is so cool. He was he was fangirling about our reaction channel. So I let him finish his dinner with him and his girlfriend, and I dropped the check off, and he goes, hey, me and her, his girlfriend, we're talking, and we think it would be really cool if you and I, me and Jimmy, made a video like faking reacting to something we're watching. So we did, like, we went in the office of my work, and he, sure enough, I had the camera on, I put it in like selfie mode, and it looked like I was reacting to something, and he comes in and he starts reacting, and he was just like, he was such a sweet, kind dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear horror stories about altercations with celebrities, and he's not like, it's not like he's Denzel, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he's growing.
Oh yeah,
especially with Westworld. Like he is, and he was on It's Always Sunny, and he played a really weird character on It's Always Sunny. He was on House of Cards.
Well, I mean,
did you watch House of Cards?
I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay, because he's in season 1, and he plays like a hacker who ends up being strong-armed by the FBI to work for them, and he's brilliant in that.
Well, that's just kind of the way Hollywood is, though, because like people work for years, and it seems like they break out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. But like they've slowly been getting those like under fives.
You have the very rare cases of like Jennifer Lawrence and these people who come out of nowhere.
McLovin.
Yeah,
Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Yeah. Well, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and recently like Timothée Chalamet. But I mean, he went to LaGuardia. He was doing small movies, and then all of a sudden he was nominated in 2 Oscar films. He's probably going to get nominated again. Yeah. It's crazy, but Jimmy was. I told him, I was like, I'm an actor, and he was like, can I give you some advice? And I was like, absolutely, you can give me advice. He was like, don't ever stop trying. He goes, if this is what you love, it's going to be like the hardest thing you have to do, but it's going to be the most rewarding thing.
Right.
And he's just a really sweet dude.
Jake Sink, what is your favorite TV show?
Yeah, you go.
I mean, I haven't seen season 2 of Westworld yet.
Are we talking of all time, or are we talking of like right now? Let's do both.
It's difficult because like if we're going comedy, I would say Scrubs. But if we're talking just like an amazing show to watch all time, I'd still have to go with Game of Thrones. I do love Westworld, but there's still so far that it can go.
Yeah, and it's so Westworld is a show based off a movie.
Right.
So a lot of the show is going to be brand new stuff. Like they have a world that they're building in versus Game of Thrones, which is shows based off a plethora of books and content already made.
Right.
So it's a much different vibe than Game of Thrones.
And it's also winding down. It's almost at the end.
Yeah.
So like Game of Thrones, the story is almost done. You can kind of see where things are going, whereas Westworld is still pretty wide open.
Yeah, definitely.
If the first few episodes of season 2 are any indication.
I think for me, just by sheer amount of times I've seen it, I would have to say The Office. Okay. I'm a diehard fan of The Office. It's so weird. When I moved to LA, I moved here in 2016, and the first week I was here, I was shopping for furniture. And I'm shopping for furniture. There's no one in this whole store. This place where you got this. There's no one in the whole store. And I go down to like the lower level, and I'm looking around, and I see this woman there, and I'm like, I was like, no way, no way. And I kind of walked closer. I'm like trying to be inconspicuous. And sure enough, it was a woman from The Office who was in all 9 seasons. And I was like, how,
Which
like,
one?
Kate Flannery. She plays Meredith.
Oh, Meredith. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know which one Meredith is.
And I
Seen,
was
the
like,
first, 4 seasons of that.
I was like, this is unreal. Like, I get here the first week, and, like, the first celebrity I see is one of my, like, someone from my favorite show of all time. And I was like, hey, like, I'm not one for universal signs and stuff like that, but I was like, this is cool. And she was another one who was really kind. She gave me some advice. Like, I think I've told you that she was. It was really cool.
The only celebrity I've seen on a semi-regular basis also was from The Office.
Really?
Craig Robinson.
Oh yeah, Craig Robinson. Yeah.
I don't want to say the place
Of
just
course.
for
His sake, yeah.
his sake, but there's a karaoke place that he likes to go to.
Yes.
That I've seen him a few times there, and then also when I was on the show To Tell the Truth. He was one of the judges asking me questions.
Did you like? Well, karaoke is so crowded usually that you might not ever have a
No,
chance.
he didn't recognize me, but after the show, when they let all of the contestants come on stage and kind of like wave to the camera as the credits are rolling, I kind of like inched my way over to Craig Robinson, and I'm like, oh, I like when you sing karaoke at blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, thanks, man, thanks.
Yeah. I like submitted To Tell the Truth recently too as well. It's so different. I think it's crazy. I was just having this conversation with a couple coworkers of mine yesterday how because we had someone in the restaurant yesterday. Like I won't say the restaurant for their sake, but it was Michael Pena who just had Narcos come out. He's been Ant-Man and the Wasp, End of Watch, just like a really, and some of the people I work with, they were like, oh my god, I want to get a picture, and I was kind of like, and I don't know, I don't really see the point.
Yeah.
Like, he's just trying to.
The U.S. version of The Office.
Yeah, the U.S. version. I have seen the UK version. But it is the. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's the U.S.
Well, we're 30 seconds ahead. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
and we're like ranting.
Yes,
but yeah, it's weird. The more I'm here and like, because I see a lot more at the restaurant now.
Yeah.
The more I'm kind of like, I'm like settling down about it, because at the end of the day, like, it's so weird that most people hold celebrities to this like godlike stature.
They're just people.
They're just people who have like a cool day job.
Yeah.
And at that, like acting, having like been on set multiple times, like it is some of the hardest work. And like obviously it's the most subjective too. Like it's one of like the only professions you can pursue where you're probably not going to get paid for a long time. Unless you consider Cheez-Its pay. Right. Shout out to Cheez-Its. And
we've got craft services.
Yeah. And unless, like, everyone's going to judge you. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing, is everyone is judging you. And, like, no one's going to do that in any other profession. And for me, that's part of the thrill. Like, I love that.
Comedians.
So, I would...
Entertainment in general.
Entertainment in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, so my favorite show would be The Office, going back to, like, 20 minutes ago. But... That's a comedy, so if we're saying drama too.
But that's the thing though. Like my favorite show at any given moment, like I can just plop down and watch Scrubs anytime. If it's on TV, it doesn't matter what episode it is. But like Game of Thrones, you kind of have to watch in order, and so it's a better experience overall, I think.
Yeah, I forget the term for it, but like certain shows you can just watch because the episode tells a story in itself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's episodic or like anthological, maybe. Is that the term? Like, what did Twilight Zone do? Where it's kind of like you can just, any episode you can pop in, you can watch it, and you've got a story from beginning to end. And with like obviously Scrubs and The Office, yes, there's an overarching storyline that takes over like a season.
Maybe one season storyline, yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, for the Game of Thrones, sitting down and watching... If you sit down and watch like any episode 6 of any season, you're gonna kind of be like,
I gotta watch the next one.
What? And it's it lacks it can lack context at times.
Right. Yeah. It can't just jump in anywhere and be like, okay, this seems like a good place to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. I mean, I was actually late to the Game of Thrones train. I came in at season 3. Like season 3 was already on TV, and I think my dad had the DVDs for 1 and 2, and I think it was over like a break in college. I watched season 1 and 2 in like 4 days.
So Disney fans, looking forward to Lion King and Aladdin. I was born in 1986, so those were my 2 favorite movies growing up. My wife was Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast girl, and I was a Lion King, Aladdin boy.
Aladdin was my favorite movie growing up too. VHS throwback for people old enough for VHS. I ran through as a little kid 3 copies of Aladdin on VHS.
Damn.
Because like my parents, like I would end and they would rewind it and they would pop it back in. And like when I learned how to rewind it, I would try to do it myself. So like one of those I'm sure was my own error, like the ribbon coming out and me being an idiot.
Did you have like one of those like speed rewinders where you would take it out of the VHS and have like this little cartridge on the side?
Oh no,
Speed
I was
rewind?
not so fortunate.
Yeah, no, we had a speed rewind.
We had just the VHS, so like it took like 8 to 10 minutes to rewind the film.
So
it's so weird to think about VHS. But yeah, I'm actually really. I'm excited for Aladdin in one case because I'm really proud of Disney for casting to the area.
Right.
I mean, everyone in that movie is going to be Indian.
Yeah.
The only person who isn't is Will Smith, who's playing the genie.
Right.
I think he's one of maybe the only one. Maybe other voice actors. Maybe the guy playing the parrot, if the parrot's in it again.
Iago.
I would love if they got Gilbert Gottfried again, because like
how do you
yeah, like how do you compare to that? But for Lion King, like I just watched the trailer the other day, and it's so cool watching the side by side. It's the same thing.
It is the thing with Lion King. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but the whole point of live action, I thought, was to get real people in there and.
Yeah,
it's just a new form of CGI almost.
Well,
basically.
It's animation versus CGI.
Right. Yeah, animation versus CGI. So, like, how different is it really going to be?
Yeah. The only live action where it's really, if any, is going to be if like they have people in motion capture suits being different animals and stuff.
Right.
But you're right.
Because like Jungle Book at least made sense because
you had Mowgli. You had Mowgli.
You had a human.
Yeah, and it's the same director.
Right, same director as
Jon
Jungle Book.
Favreau.
And I really liked it.
I still haven't seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
I heard it was amazing though.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and it had something in it that I never knew I wanted.
I'll watch it. I'll try to pick it out. But yeah, I'm really excited for Aladdin. I think, for me, Disney should go more towards doing live action towards the movies that actually have humans in them.
Yeah.
Like Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella, and they did Maleficent, and now Aladdin. It's great that they do these really beautiful CGI updated versions of like Lion King and Jungle Book in this instance,
to bring back the stories to a younger generation. But
exactly.
The thing is, Disney has always been timeless. I feel because like Snow White is old, man.
It was the first color movie ever.
But like you still watched it as a kid.
Of course.
Why make an updated version? Like if the cartoon versions are still good enough.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Snow White would be a cool one for live action, just saying. That would be dope.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Because they could do some amazing stuff with the Seven Dwarves.
Well, yeah.
I don't know why I just got this in my brain, but if they ever do this, the first person who came into my brain for a dwarf was Alan Tudyk. From, what was he from? Firefly, right?
Right.
And I don't know why. And I don't know if he'd be a good dwarf, but like I was like, I would love to see Alan Tudyk as a dwarf. But
fair enough.
Yeah, I think that could be kind of cool.
No, I think that's pretty much it as far as the questions. I swear Joey will be here soon. He said
12:30, 12:40.
Yeah. So he will be here, and then I'll probably update the thumbnail.
What is that? Is that your computer making that noise?
Oh yeah, that's my computer.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's using lots of processing power right now.
Oh yeah, for the live stream.
For the live streams, yeah. Because I think it's recording and streaming at the same time.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, if you go on OBS, it shows that I'm using 50% of my CPU right now.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, I think I am so excited for season 8 though.
Oh, Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we have a lot to look forward to. I think I'm positive filming is wrapped.
It should be. Yeah, because I think they're going to be releasing it in like 4 months.
Yeah, I follow Maisie Williams on Instagram, and I remember seeing a post that was like this girl is done or something like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm kind of debating how I feel about the time that we're living in right now because the books have not been finished. Do you think sometime in our life, like 40 years from now, they're gonna remake Game of Thrones with all of the completed books? Like
I hope so.
As he originally intended.
I hope so. If it's that different.
If it actually is like straight by the books.
I mean, me and Justin. Shout out to Justin. He's been on the show before. Like I've told him multiple times, as a huge fan of Harry Potter, that I told him, I was like, dude, when we have the resources, I want to remake Harry Potter in a style like Game of Thrones. Because, I mean, these books are the same density, almost the same density as Game of Thrones, especially, like, Book 5 is, like, 1,200 pages.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot is left up. And the only reason I say yes is because these are such colorful, full worlds. I think if you have like a small world in a show or in fantasy, it's not worth it to me because you
want to build that world.
Exactly.
So how do you think Game of Thrones will end?
Oh gosh, good question, Alexandra. She's coming in hot with all these questions.
Thank you. If anyone else feels like asking questions, but by all means, Alexandra, keep asking questions. So I think. I mean, I've been on record saying this before because I've done a few Q&As after, like with Merrick Productions, American Mom, and Film Buff and them. But I think it all comes down to like a complete neutral state where there's no magic. Because there's opposite sides. There's the Lord of Light and then there's the White Walkers.
Okay.
And, you know, it seems as though the White Walkers only started waking up again as followers of the Lord of Light started getting powers also. So as one rises, the other rises. So the only way to completely destroy the other is, well, they destroy each other. So I think it will come back to just a normal world state with no magic.
Cool. I don't know. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really thought about it. In perspective of like characters that are going to stay alive versus characters that are dead. I think for me, I think Arya, I think she's going to be one of, she might be the only Stark left. I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
really?
Yeah.
If there was one Stark I would say was going to survive, I would think it would be Sansa, because killing her doesn't really do anything.
You're right. It doesn't do anything. But the only reason I feel differently is because she's getting a little bit more political.
True. She's
pulling strings that are position, like she's
trying to be Cersei of the Starks.
Exactly, which is dangerous. She's very young and like it's not like Cersei happened overnight. This is a woman who became queen at the sixth season, end of the sixth, and like her life from the moment she was born to the moment she became queen was all politics. Like True. She was, and Sansa's wasn't. Sansa wasn't politics really until Joffrey, and then obviously a lot more so once she became when she went back to Winterfell. So that's why I think she might be one of like the true Starks left, because at this point there's just the two, right? Her and Sansa and Arya
and Bran
and yeah, I honestly I think Bran could die too, because like you said with the magic, I mean Bran is one of the most, if not the most magical presence in the show.
Yeah.
And
there's theories of the time loop where
yeah, of course,
where he is the Night King.
Yeah, and there's ones that he was also the guy in the tree before.
Right. Like
it's just a perpetual loop.
Right.
And anyway, it's one of these things that, going back to what you said, they might remake the show in 40, 50 years. I think that George R.R. Martin has probably told a lot of his plans to the showrunners, because the infamous story of how they got to run the show. They had to guess who was the father and the mother, or we know who the mother was. No, we don't. Yeah, they had to guess the mother and the father, but yeah, I mean, I think that the show ending might not be it's going. The broad strokes have to be. I'm sorry. The fine strokes have to be exactly what George R. R. Martin wants, but the broader strokes, I think that's where we're going to have variability.
I haven't read any spoilers or anything, so this is just my theory, but I think Jon and Daenerys will die. The latter, after giving birth to Jon's baby, the baby will be on the throne. But the thing is, there's only 6 episodes left, so unless you skip years into the future, which, I mean, I guess could be like
could
be like an epilogue.
The run times for some of these episodes, I don't know if you've read about them, they're going to be absurd.
Well, yeah, hour 20 minutes, like hour 30.
Minimums. Yeah, 1 hour 20 for minimums.
So
I think some of the final ones will be almost 2 hours.
The amount of times they alluded to her infertility, they might as well have written "she will be pregnant" on her forehead.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she got pregnant and had a baby with Jon. I mean, they're obviously together at this point. I think the baby will be on the throne might be kind of a stretch, just because that would have to be a time skip, and I'm not sure Game of Thrones is kind of like the time skippy show. Like, if anything, I think
it would be like literally an epilogue.
Yeah.
Or in that case, I could see that happening where it's this entire show has been Sam telling the story, the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, which Justin has said is his theory.
And he could be telling the Song of Ice and Fire to Jon and Daenerys' kid.
Yes.
As they're sitting on the throne. So, that kind of time jump as, an epilogue. Like, everything has happened, da-da-da-da-da, everybody dies, whatever. And then it skips years into the future, for the final scene of the show.
I think that's the only case in which
there
would be an epilogue or time skip.
Yeah.
I think that's the only case, and I think if they do something different, there's going to be some clapback.
Yeah.
I think the nature of the show is it's so present that having something like that would almost feel... I think it would be a disservice to the fan base to, tease this new character as he's the king or queen.
They have said that this will, they will branch out into other areas.
Yeah.
They might talk about Aegon's conquest or whatever, but they are not going to continue this story.
Yeah. You just did the same motion live as you did on the recording. That was funny.
I do this a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to see how they end it, though. I mean, this is a show that's, for a lot of people,
it's a cultural phenomenon.
It is. It's a cultural phenomenon, and fantasy. I think before Game of Thrones, fantasy was far and away dominated by things that either also branched into sci-fi, like your Star Trek and your Star Wars, but also more so stuff like Lord of the Rings. Things like
Wheel of Time is coming out on Amazon.
Like these things. And I think Game of Thrones took fantasy and it made it into this world that was so heavily involved with also politics and other aspects. And I think it's a much more... it's a genre that I think now a lot of people are going to be more apt to watch.
Right.
I think they've really made it to say this show is palatable is like this show is mental. It's like it's a thinky show. I mean, the first episode, here's 40 new characters, have fun. But yeah, I think the creators of the show and HBO is like obviously as a service just does wonders with making like this genre so cool.
Yeah. They should just destroy the throne and form a republic. Then again, looking at modern democracy, maybe that isn't such a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got dragons. They could melt the throne down.
That would be cool because that's how it was forged. No, it wasn't forged in Dragonfire. But that would be cool. Melt it down. I don't know. I guess they could form a republic. Yeah, that's the thing. Like looking, I mean, even the U.S. is like so many people say it's a democracy, but it's a democratic republic, which is they're two starkly different things. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, they're already starting to split. I mean, you know, King of the North and stuff.
Yeah,
like the North does want to be independent.
Okay, so like right now at the end of season 7, there was the desperate plea for everyone to come together because it's
just to fight
the common enemy.
Right.
I don't think it'll last though.
Canon McLeod, long time no see. Yes, indeed. And I do promise Joey will be here. He said he was going to be here from 12:30 to 12:40, and so now
I'm just a placeholder.
Now he's late. So
I know, right? If you want to step aside and call him.
Yeah, I'm gonna call Joey, and feel free to ask Ben questions. Although it's going to take about 30 seconds for you to hear me say that. So
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm really grateful for Game of Thrones as a show entire because I think it makes the fantasy genre I think it makes it more in demand. So often I felt for a long time their shows were kind of it's the same thing over and over again. And HBO as a whole has kind of always been that front runner of taking the compass and steering it somewhere else and making something really unique. And they're so smart about the way they time out their moves, as exemplified by as Game of Thrones is coming to a close. Westworld is now going to be going into season 3, and it's already got a really loyal fan base. As well as, look at me, I joined Game of Thrones in season 3 as well. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be joining Westworld too. It's just HBO is like showrunners are just
they're doing it right.
They're so smart.
Well, they were the ones that did Sopranos, right? HBO did Sopranos.
I mean, and they have debatably the best show of all time in The Wire. Like many people will say The Wire was the best made show of all time.
I still haven't seen it.
It's one of those shows that I know. Shout out to Justin again. Me and him, like he's one of my best friends, so we talk about this stuff all the time. But I think in many shows, the perfect formula and the perfect length is 5 seasons. The Wire does 5 seasons. Game of Thrones is going into its 8th. It's based off of books, which is a little bit different. But for many shows that are just from the drawing board, I think 5 seasons is one of like the best timelines. I mean, look at The Office. I know it's a little bit more of a stretch, but those first 5 seasons of The Office are like, to me, they're like legendary. And I think once you get past a certain point in shows, it becomes going through the motions.
It's difficult to keep a show fresh and good. Like 4 seasons seems to be a limit for a lot of shows that I've watched. Mm-hmm. Like I hear that the first how many seasons did Weeds go?
I don't know. I
heard like the first 3 or 4 seasons were good. Dexter, the first 4 seasons were great.
Yeah, that's one of his favorite shows too. And that like Dexter 1, 2, I think he said like 4 was like up to 4 were great, and then as they kept going, it just got weaker.
Yeah. Scrubs. Obviously, season 9 is an abomination. It's not really Scrubs. It's a separate show. But yeah, I mean the first 4 or 5 seasons are probably
When did Scrubs end?
want to say it was 2001 to 2008.
Yeah, so like...
And then it had season 9, which they called Scrubs Medical School, so it might as well have been season 1 of a new show. Even though they had some returning characters, it just was not good.
Yeah. And the writer's strike was in there, too.
The writer's strike was season 7, I believe, because that season only had 13... Or instead of like 22 episodes, I think it only had like 10 to 13 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Scrubs is great. Have you guys watched Mr. Robot? Very underrated show.
I haven't seen any. I've heard amazing things about that show.
Is that
I actually
Netflix, HBO, or...
No, it's neither.
It's
just on network. I think it's Fox.
It's a
or
network
like FX.
show?
Yeah, it's a network show.
Huh.
I've heard and read that show is one of the best things ever to depict hacking, because I know it's about a hacker. And show like I watched this thing recently because I'm trying to make like clips for myself, and I was like looking at this guy, a real life hacker and like security expert, reacting to movies and shows the way they portray hacking. And there's the infamous swordfish scene with Hugh Jackman where it like has these cubes spinning and turning, and he's like, yeah, this is so not real, like these geometric diagrams of hacking and stuff. But then you see things like Mr. Robot, and it really does it a great justice.
Have you ever seen Hacker Typer?
Hacker Typer? No. Is this a... What is this? Oh my... Thank you for showing me this, because I'm going to use this now. I'm going to so use this now for when I make my clip.
Debating how to get this best shown on... Oh, balls.
That's going to be loud. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys, in advance. That's going to be super loud.
Right. So...
I mean, you don't need to show it.
Oh, wait. Am I able to...
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Check out hackertyper.com, guys.
Literally hackertyper.com, and you just literally can just plug stuff in. And I think if you hit... is it control 5 times or no? Oh, shoot. I should not have done that. There's a way to... Okay, that's the one.
What was that?
If you hit Alt 5 times, you get access granted, and if you hit Control 5 times, or there's something that gives you access denied.
Oh,
yeah.
So it looks like you successfully hacked it.
Yeah,
that's so cool. I love the internet.
Right? Access denied. How do you do the access denied?
Caps lock key.
Caps lock. Okay, so yeah, if you go to hackertyper.com,
that's so funny,
and you hit caps lock 3 times, I guess it's 3 times. But if you hit Alt 3 times or 4 or 5 times, it's access granted. But yeah, you just plugging away, just doing random stuff, and it looks like code. Probably better than some of the stuff they show on TV.
Yeah,
I mean,
it looks pretty good.
You know, but yeah, hacking on TV is very.
It's very poorly done.
Jerry, he's the one that got us, got Joey and I these shirts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome back, dude.
Welcome back. So, I do promise Joey will be here.
What did he say? He didn't answer.
So he just like way overslept today. He got in the shower. He said he was getting in the car as I was calling him, which was 7 minutes ago. So however long it takes, he said.
Let me see the GPS, what it would take to get to his place.
I don't know where Joey lives.
I do.
He knows.
I know everything. So 17 minutes.
17 minutes from
here.
So, like 10 minutes from now. Joey will be here, I promise.
Well, I hope we're entertaining you guys in the meantime.
Yes. Thank you for being here, by the way, because
yeah.
Doing extemporaneous speech, like we've been streaming for exactly like almost 1 hour now. It would have been a little rough.
Yeah,
doing this by myself. So thank you, Ben, and we're gonna see how this couch fits with 3 people. On it when
I mean, once Joey gets here, if like I know it's kind of you guys' thing, I can head out, but it's up to them what they want to see. Do you want to maybe talk about Crazy Board a little bit?
Yeah. So as far as
Just like kind of what they're about and their mission and how we relate to that channel.
yes, so Crazy Board is a channel that you guys should definitely check out. Well, just the Meeple's Den in general. Like, think of Meeple's Den kind of like being like Geek and
Chat.
Oh, kind of like being like Geek and Sundry. Joey is always foreshadowing. So that's the umbrella company, and then they've got like side things on there as well. So there's Dungeness Dorks under the Meeple's Den tag, and then there's Crazy Board under the Meeple's Den tag.
Yeah.
They're all the same network. But yes, so the Crazy Board is playthroughs of board games that are much better edited than what we do here. We just do live playthroughs, and then I do like what I can to edit afterwards.
Yeah.
But they've got really nice cameras. They've got 6 cameras.
They have 6 cameras, and they have a full team.
They've got yeah.
They have people working on that team who work in the industry.
Yeah,
these are people who are graphic designers, sound designers, very
animators. Like
animators.
I think Jonathan is
he's that graphic design animation.
Yeah.
Like these are people who are really talented and who spend a lot of time to produce stuff they love. Like these are things that they're very passionate about what they are giving. And if you guys like board games, definitely check it out. I mean, Brian has hosted 2 or 1.
I just hosted my second one, but it hasn't been posted yet.
Yeah.
All the stuff that's been posted right now, I've hosted one and I've been in one, a different one. So
and then you're in every episode of Dungeness Dorks.
I am in every episode of Dungeness Dorks.
Yeah. So Dungeness Dorks, like you said, Meeple's Den. Say Meeple's Den is like HBO, right? That's like the network, and then Dungeness Dorks and Crazy Board are like different shows. So Dungeness Dorks, Brian is involved, as well as Justin is involved. Jessica, Brian's wife, is involved.
So 3 of the Boardwatch crew are part of that.
Yep, and it's a D&D campaign, and a lot of like I think, do they condense it at all, or is it just raw?
So it is raw, but they cut it up into like 20-30 minute videos. So it's very manageable. It's one of those things that like it's good to kind of have on in the background listening to it if you've got it, just making sure that it goes from one episode to the next. They should have a playlist so that it just auto plays. But yeah, there's been some good moments, and actually one of the best episodes just got posted a week ago. I want to say there was a really good stand up and cheer moment that everybody had. The final episode of Hatred of the Drow. So that was a really good episode. Yeah, so
it's just them doing a D&D campaign, and get them being in character and going through their adventure. And then like we were saying, Crazy Board is just gameplay throughs. So they started their channel with The Resistance.
Yep,
which is a social. No, was it Avalon or just the plain Resistance?
It was the regular Resistance.
So which is a social deduction game. A lot of fun, a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
Usually, at least when we play, they were kind of contained for probably sakes of the recording.
Right.
Then they did Ticket to Ride?
Ticket to Ride Europe.
Ticket to Ride Europe, which is different than Ticket to Ride. A little bit more complicated.
And then Terraforming Mars.
Which Brian hosted.
We were both in.
And it was all Boardwatch crew.
Yeah, it was all board. Yeah, everyone in the Terraforming Mars episode you guys have seen before, because it was me, Ben, Jonathan, and Justin.
Yeah, so, yep. And then they did Mysterium, which I wasn't involved in. I don't think you were.
I was not.
Yeah, but they had all new crew for that, and that one was fun. Mysterium is kind of like Apples to Apples meets... I'm sorry, not Apples to
Clue.
Apples. It's more like Clue. Yeah.
It's Clue with pictures, but everyone's on the same team. But
it's a unique game. It's
It's probably over
I was going to say...
I've reorganized things a little bit.
Yeah, it was here before. And then...
So there's a dead ghost sending pictures to people trying to tell them how they died, basically.
Yeah.
Like the person, the place, and the thing that killed them. And so everybody's kind of working together to try and figure out how the ghost actually died.
Yep. And then they were just going to release one a couple days ago with Woodlands. Unfortunately, they had some technical difficulties during the upload. Their building lost power. And they're having some technical difficulties with some other stuff, which I hosted. Jonathan,
you were the host for that?
Yeah, I was the host for that one. Jonathan was also in the playthrough. Jonathan is in the Westworld reaction series for Boardwatch. And
the executive producer, Lisa, who is going to be in the Game of Thrones playthrough this Monday, was also in that episode.
Lisa, she's really, really great. And then someone new, why can't I remember his name? I mean, it was the first time I met him, so I apologize. Right. I think his name is Justin.
I think it started with a J.
No, it's Jeremy. I think it's Jeremy. But yeah, it's a lot of fun over there, and like I said, these are people who are really passionate about making high quality like content for YouTube, which is like they're definitely not skimping.
Yeah, and they're also posting stuff on Twitch as well. So
are they?
Yeah, I believe they said they were going to be posting all their videos on Twitch too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So they're really trying to branch out there.
Give them a follow. Give them a subscribe, guys. They could really, like I said, they're great people who like they're going to give you quality content.
Yeah.
And especially like I know on Crazy Board, I have watched every single one of them, and even if you're not necessarily interested in like the game, generally the banter and stuff is really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it looks intimidating. Sometimes you see a 45-minute video, but they do a good job of keeping things flowing.
Yeah, they've got like interview sections where you learn a little bit more about us and kind of how we feel about games, maybe our career, weird quirky questions that like it's really entertaining. Like our episode for Terraforming Mars, they had like Justin and I do like a beatboxing thing, which was so random, but it ended up being so cool.
So, yes, check that out.
Jerry XX got back into playing D&D this last year. Back to my roots.
Love D&D, man.
I've never played D&D. I was supposed to be in your campaign with Dungeness Dorks. Unfortunately, the way it worked out, I backed out of it just because I was kind of feeling hesitant. I've never done one. Since then, I've tried another campaign, and it fell apart, and I am now trying again with a new crew. And like I just made my character. It's really cool because we're starting at level 12.
Yikes.
We're starting at level 12, and it's not so much about like combat and like killing like big beasts as much as it's about like politics, which I'm really excited
That's the thing that I like about D&D is it can go wherever the group wants it to go, because like the Dungeon Master is not supposed to be like some major antagonist that's like, I'm trying to kill everybody. Like their basic job is to make sure that everybody's having fun, and you know, if you've got an evil group of people, I mean, there's evil campaigns, there's good campaigns, there's mixes of good and evil.
Yes.
So, like, there's evil campaigns where you just might overthrow an entire form of government and make that city into, like, a slave trade. Like, anything can happen.
That's
like,
the point of D&D. Like,
it does not, there doesn't have to be combat. There are some episodes of Dungeness Dorks where the entire 3 hours that we were filming, there was not a single die rolled in combat. I mean, there was...
Of course, like checks and stuff like that.
There was charisma checks, like, when you're trying to convince people of stuff, like deception or...
Of course.
Or, you know, all that stuff. But it's just a really well oiled machine at this point. I mean, it's been around since, like, what, the 60s, 70s?
Yeah, I told my uncle that I played recently. My uncle is 40-something. And I told him that I just made a character, and he... like freaked out. He's like, "You're playing Dungeons and Dragons?" I was like, "I'm not playing yet. I made a character. We're starting a campaign soon, and this is someone who like grew up on comics and D&D, and like he is just so like in that culture, and he was really, really excited." And I was telling him like, now more than ever, D&D is accessible wherever. They have like, you can roll dice online, you can use Discord or Skype or anything to be in voice chat, you can use Google Hangouts, and you can even video chat while you're doing a whole campaign. Like, you can have a campaign with someone across the world now. You don't have to be in the same room.
Yeah.
Which I think is amazing. Again, I love the internet. For things like this, like, it's...
Yeah. We did D&D via Skype back when I was in college in 2007.
Yeah, see, like...
like, I was the Dungeon Master, and I was at Southern Illinois University, and I was like 6 hours away from everyone else. They just put a webcam on top of a laptop, and that so I could see all of them, but they were all huddled around a table.
Yeah.
And I was the DM 6 hours away, and I was just like, all right, da-da-da-da-da, this happens, and, you know, so...
Yeah, it's crazy how accessible it is now, and like I was saying, you can on Discord. Like when I was doing that campaign that kind of fell apart. What was cool while it lasted, we did like 4 sessions. It was cool was the way it's laid out, especially on Discord. You can have private conversations with the DM, which is like.
Oh yeah.
It can add a lot of interesting aspects. Cause say your character is maybe planning on betraying the party or something like
trying
that.
to pickpocket. Oh, you found a
like,
ring. I'm gonna steal that
or like
ring.
yeah, stealing from the party. It's like you can go into another private room on the internet on the Discord channel, and like everyone's like, wait, what's happening? Why are they going in another room? And you come back and they're like, what'd you guys do? And you're like, well, nothing happened. And like,
Yeah.
And like, I remember my friend John was the DM, and John just goes, Ben failed at his attempt to do something. That's all he said. They're like, what did he try to do? He goes, don't worry about it. Which I like. That's so cool. And yeah, like I know, like back to the entertainment industry, like D&D is actually kind of getting a little more. I know Joe Manganiello, another HBO guy. If you guys watch True Blood, he runs like an underground D&D like campaign in like his basement with like Taran Killam and like a bunch of other people, and he actually started a clothing line with D&D inspiration, just like all for it, which is like so cool.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like it's
cool to be a nerd.
It's like yeah, it's crazy that like I think back like when I hear stories like my parents growing up and stuff like that, like certain things like wouldn't fly back then.
People thought D&D was satanic.
Yeah, like imagine that. That's crazy.
It's just like they're worshiping demons, and it's just like that's not how it works. I cast a spell, I roll a 20-sided die. Oh, it missed.
And even even other like TV shows are like Stranger Things. I mean,
yeah, Stranger Things.
They have inspiration from D&D, and then another show that's on right now, Riverdale. It's not like D&D exactly, but like this current season is based off a main plot point is this game called Griffins and Gargoyles, which is essentially D&D.
Right.
But it's just really cool to see other mediums kind of hopping on the train.
Yeah. Yep. Just Joey should be here any minute now.
Yeah, but like we said, guys, go check out Crazy Board. They're really good people, make a lot of great content, and yeah, they'll be really grateful.
Yep. So, yeah, that's Crazy Board. As far as stuff that I want to do on Board Watch, we do have like I said, the Game of Thrones playthrough this Monday, but I do want to get Tragedy. I know you love Tragedy Looper.
Tragedy Looper is actually I actually had to answer this question the other day. What was my top 3 games? And it was kind of on the spot. You know, sometimes for you it's an obvious thing because we're literally surrounded by board games right now. But for me, I said Tragedy Looper, and it's just because I think that game it has very few flaws, if any. Like it's completely up to the players on what's going to happen.
Yep.
I mean, I've made mistakes because it's not a game we get to play a lot.
Right.
But it's so good.
You also do play as the mastermind a lot, so I wonder if you would still have a high opinion as like one of the.
I've only played one as the other side.
Yeah, he's almost always the bad guy. He's a Lannister. I keep telling him this.
I'm not a Lannister. I'm like the bastard stepchild of Ned Stark. That's me.
Sure.
Yeah. And then, so we're doing Tragedy Looper to kind of coincide with Westworld. And you have the expansion now. We might be able to even touch on the expansion because we will. You have to make a thing though.
I do have to make a thing.
You have to make an insert.
Or a deduction chart.
A deduction chart. That's what it is. Then you guys are doing Game of Thrones again this Monday. I need to play that game again too. I didn't get a really good experience last time we played.
See, the last time we played the Game of Thrones board game, I got a little lucky in terms of the Greyjoys have a great starting position and can beat down the Lannisters in the first 2 rounds, but only insofar as if there are musterings and like the King's Court being all like, because at the start of the game, the Greyjoys can't use any of those star tokens, so there's no way for me to grow my army unless a mustering card comes up in that deck, and it happened the first 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
And also after the first round, we rebid on the Iron Throne track.
I had never played.
That doesn't always happen.
Yeah.
So like we could be by round 4, and I still haven't been able to gain another unit. So like as the Greyjoys, I kind of got lucky in that aspect.
Who won? Did you win?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I had just never played that game before. And I was like so busy doing other stuff as we were explaining because I was trying to help set up like everything.
See, the thing is, like, the game is not... I mean, it's complex-ish, but once you're actually playing it, it's pretty easy. It's just, like, lay down tokens and do what the tokens say.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of, like, little things that you should know that makes... just explaining it, being like, well, there's this, and this, if this happens, and then this, yeah, Jerry's saying that you could be a Tyrell or a Lannister, just on looks alone.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey,
I'll take that as a compliment.
Nothing wrong with Tyrells.
Yeah.
I do like growing strong.
Yeah, I think I definitely want to give Game of Thrones another playthrough eventually. I mean, we play board games all the time, and there's certain games that are just a little bit harder to get.
You have to be like, we are playing this game this day with these exact people.
You have to plan it, yeah.
Like, because Game of Thrones, you don't want to play with less than 6 people. It's okay at 5, but it's best at 6.
Yeah.
Getting all 6 houses involved.
Yeah, I wonder if that was something the game designers kind of did on purpose. You'll never know.
Yeah. And then Battlestar Galactica is another one.
That's another one. I've wanted to play Battlestar Galactica. I've never even watched the show. But it's just a game that our friend John has, like, he's kind of talked up, especially with the 5 people. He's like, you need 5 people, then it's a really good game. And 5 is kind of... we only ever have 5 people towards the end of the night.
Well, and I also just invite a bunch of people and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of times, very specific games don't get played unless we set a day aside for them. And like normally, I'm just more worried about, hey, let's have 2 board game nights a week. You know, not so much as let's get these exact people here so we can get this going. So I should be a little, I want to at least once a month play one of the hard to play games, hard to plan for games.
That's over there. There's a game he's got, Charterstone. This is a game that's something that me and him have been, and Jonathan too, have been looking forward to playing for a while. But the problem is,
I've almost had it for a year now, and I still haven't played a single game of it.
And it's a game that requires 6 people to be best played, and you can't change the 6 people, and it's something that takes multiple times.
Play like 12 games.
It's a legacy game, so it's like getting 6 people who both A, are going to have fun and enjoy the game, B, be like a level playing field on overall competitiveness, and C, have like that time commitment. It's hard for those types of games. I know you guys are doing season 2 right now.
Yeah.
Of Pandemic, and it's kind of difficult.
Yeah, we almost were able to play 2 weeks ago, but then it got canceled last minute. Justin.
I just got my headshots taken, and the girl who took my headshots, she does board games, and she randomly brought it up because it wasn't randomly. She got the confirmation email that her delivery of Betrayal Legacy was delivered, which I think just came out November 9th or something like that.
It came out around Essen, so that's like the end of October.
Oh yeah, and she just got it.
Usually, like last year when Jessica and I were in Germany, it was like October 26th to the 30th, I think. Was Essen, or the 26th to the 29th. It might have been.
She was like, "I'm so excited to play it." She's like, "Do you like Betrayal House on the Hill?" And I was kind of like, because I've just had bad experiences with that game. I have played it 3 times. I have been the person who is singled out by the haunt each time. And almost every time, I'm left with no option to do anything.
Yeah.
The game's just not very balanced. But hopefully with Legacy, they took feedback, and not a lot of companies do sometimes. They just kind of stick with what they know and go. But hopefully they took some feedback.
I mean, they fixed some of the issues in Betrayal at Baldur's Gate so that the haunt can't happen in the first 3 rolls. So instead of having to roll under,
I don't think that's what pissed me off.
you have to roll 6 or higher. So
What made me upset was the fact that like I had, as the person who got was affected by the haunt, and it was like it's a 1 versus many game. Eventually,
Sometimes.
Is it?
Sometimes it's a free for all. Sometimes everyone's working together.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the haunt.
I was singled out by the haunt, and I needed to get somewhere, and their objective was, I think, just to kill me. And as the person affected by the haunt, if you're in a room with the other, like the people who are trying to hunt you, you can't really move.
Right.
So I couldn't get away from them to go where I needed to go to get brokenly powerful.
Right.
It was like, I remember it was on the opposite of the entire board layout because the game is a modifiable board.
Gonna call Joey again. Should be here any minute from what I understand, but we'll see.
I'm going to see if there's any more in chat. He could be a Tyrell or Lannister on looks. Oh, yeah. Ryan has the worst mouse here. Yeah, so hopefully Joey is here soon so that you guys can get on with this. Thank you to those 11, 12 people who have kind of been watching pretty much the whole way through. I don't know if we're on in the background, if we're right up there and you guys are watching us, but yeah, needless to say, thank you either way.
He's at the stoplight, I believe. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he's basically almost parking.
I swear he's almost here.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably just have to readjust things. I like the way that everything is framed now. It seems just better than it has been. The couch helps.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And comfy. So we might be able to start recording here again. Or something.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh yeah, Magic Castle. I emailed them.
For what?
About renewing my membership.
Why? When's the last time you went?
Like actually renewing my. I didn't renew it in 2017 or 2018, and I'm talking about renewing it for 2019.
Why?
Because we're in a better financial situation than we were. Because we got married at the end of 2016, and obviously weddings are expensive, so we didn't renew for 2017, and then we went on our honeymoon late 2017, so we didn't renew for 2018. Jessica's got a much better job now. We're both doing a lot better financially, so I was just like, hey, because you still haven't been.
Yeah, you're right. I have not.
Magic Castle, man.
Do they know that you're a magician as well?
Some people. I bet Jerry knows that I'm a magician. Like, it's come out every once in a while. Like, I think in the live stream with Merrick Productions and them.
What do you know about Monopoly for Millennials?
Oh.
Is that a game?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I don't know much. Thought it was a joke or whatever, but no, I think it is actually a real thing.
Is it? What the heck?
Yeah.
Man made $2,500 in a day buying Monopoly for Millennials 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
Let me check this out.
I do know it is actually a thing, but I have not researched it much. Not very into Monopoly, but
The tagline, forget the real estate, you can't afford it anyway. So true.
truth.
I don't know, like... I remember, I have very vivid, terrible memories of playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
Dude, you go to the 3-day music festival, farmer's market, or a vegan bistro. Yeah, this is so... Thanks, Julia. You're hot.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
that's the one that's on.
It's, This is, I don't know. I feel like Monopoly just, they'll make games just to, like, make fun of people at this point. Because they have the diehards, right? They have people, like, Monopoly is, in its essence, is always going to be timeless just because it's pick up dice and you roll dice. Like, there's not much to it. But I think that's hilarious, Monopoly for millennials. And it's, like, in the news. Like I was just reading that article. Some guy made $2,500 doing something with it, maybe reselling it or something like that.
Yeah. Kickstarter has also been a boon for board games.
Yeah, I mean, Kickstarter is pretty great in a lot of senses. I've had. Okay. Yo,
come in, Joey.
I'll get it. Okay.
Joey's here, guys. I swear.
Hey, I didn't know you were going to be over
I
here,
wasn't
too.
going to be here. I'm a placeholder for you.
Hello,
Ben-
just in case I didn't make it.
Ben kind of
No.
saved things.
Because I was
Yeah,
alive.
yeah, we've been
live.
streaming for an hour and a half.
Oh my god.
All right, let's.
The reinforcements have made it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I was at my place watching, ready for you guys to go on at 12, and I go
Oh.
on, and I was watching,
Brian
and you
told me
weren't
it was
here.
live. I had no idea.
And you weren't here.
I had no idea it was live. Brian thought it was recording. I had no idea. I didn't get prepared for anything. Hey guys. I
Hi.
haven't on yet.
Joey's here. So
is he in the
this
framing?
is this. Well, I mean, this is he's
We're
in the frame.
it's 30 seconds behind, so you
I would
can
assume Brian
Yeah.
wasn't looking over there that a second ago.
Alexandra, she said something that
Julius.
retracted it and said something else. Yeah, so we've been talking about, games.
Foreshadow. You guys should all know Joey's always late anyway, so I don't know why. you
Yeah,
guys
no,
are pretending.
Alexander's like Joey is away foreshadowing right now.
I see. I'm saying.
So what were you foreshadowing, Joey?
That I'm going to be late for the rest of this
Yeah.
next season. No, that I'm excited and that I was not prepared for this to be live, and I'm so sorry.
No.
Wait. Were they live an hour and a half this whole time?
Dude, we've been on for an hour and 26
Oh my
minutes.
god, you guys are so loyal.
We've been
I'm so sorry.
We've
I
been
feel
going,
so
and it's
bad.
like no one's actually dropped out. I think we had 12, and now we have 15 now. So
Yeah.
we should more people.
They just knew you were here, Joey.
I was at the wall, and so it does take some time to get here, and I'm not Littlefinger. I don't have teleportation device.
You're,
and
you're,
so
not, you're not season 7 of Game of Thrones where you can
Yeah.
be in one place and then magically in another place.
I was just robbing a
instantly.
caravan of gold, and I'm back now, chilling. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
all that is.
All good. So some people are saying that we should watch History and Lore for season 7. We did watch 5 and 6, right?
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, we did.
Because
We have
5
not seen
was
7.
Dance with Dragons.
Did we see 6? Did we just see 5?
I know for sure we saw 5.
Also, new couch. I don't know if you noticed.
It is a new couch. Oh my god.
Literally
right?
came
Wow.
in yesterday.
New couch. I love it. This is beautiful.
Yeah. Not like the
That's so nice.
gigantic, like...
I didn't even know,
armrest
so
that-
take it back that it was live. It threw me off. This is
Yeah.
so awesome.
So, yeah. And,
But yeah, so I'm down for 7. I'm pretty sure we saw 6.
yeah. Yeah, I could probably just go back in my previous videos and see what we've
I mean, if you said the
posted.
title, yeah. I would show.
If nothing else, I know that we've recorded 5 for sure. But yeah, no, I definitely want to watch season 7, History and Lore, and then
Add
so
some more
what have
time.
you been up to lately?
Working and shooting. I don't know if I told you guys, but I'm a photography student, and so still learning how to work the old photographer. But besides that, just waiting. This is the first year that I've had to not have Game of Thrones for a year, and it's killing me.
Right?
And
You
I
know
would-
the pain.
It's kind of like a
painful.
breakup if you think about it, because at first you're really sad and almost in denial, and you're like, nah, it's going to come back next week, and then you realize it's not, and then it's another week, and you're like, there's not even like anything for me to do at this point, and then you're like sad. So then it goes into sadness and depression, and then it goes into acceptance, and I almost was like, you know what, I'm going to go. That's how much. Then it's just like
Look at
carrying
his
around.
coffee mug.
It's like carrying around old photos.
I
of your
drink
ex.
and I know things.
That's how I try to be. And so then from depression, you go into acceptance.
Who did that?
I don't know. I
Ben.
think it was Joey.
Lies. Then, and then life. Why would you were okay with it? Life just throws a bunch of.
Where's my
bullshit at
stunt
you.
double?
Technical difficulties.
I got it. Let go.
So then you go in from depression, you go into acceptance and think maybe I'll find another show, and then you realize how much better this show was than every other show, and so then you just wait until they stop playing games and come back with another season. So I'm excited to say the least, and I'm probably gonna. I haven't rewatched it yet, because I wanted to see what Brian wanted to do about all that. But I definitely will rewatch it. Hopefully, maybe twice, but we'll see. At least once through.
It was me.
Ben.
It was me.
It was Ben.
It was me.
The replay just went through, and it was this guy right here. It's all right. Tape doesn't lie. Let's go to the.
It was me.
Okay. So
I took that like a champ.
I was telling
I
them
wasn't
that
playing.
I was telling them that I just saw yesterday we were playing some football.
We were. I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one got seriously injured, which is good.
Dude, my knee is so sore.
I'm pretty sore, but I mean, we're not really. It's not like we're trying to fight a battle out there, so there's really no reason for any of us to get hurt, and so I'm happy no one had to report back that.
Yeah.
if
someone
I
broke a
played
leg.
yesterday, I would just be like this right now.
Dude,
I'm
we
old.
played a lot of games too. This guy was the one who wanted to keep playing. See, we played like 5 games.
We played for
It was
like
fun though. It
almost
was worth
4
it.
hours.
It rained. We weren't sissies about it. We kept playing. A little rain never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
They're all fighting over who is the most
So
attractive.
we have a viewer, Julia, who said I was hot,
And
and
you
then someone
sat
was like,
down.
"Oh, she's thirsty," and then you sat down. They're like, "Oh, sorry, blue shirt. White shirt guy is even better."
It's beige. And I know.
What?
To
Your
answer your
shirt's
question,
beige?
my shirt is beige.
That is clearly white, dude.
It's okay. Hey guys, all right, let's go viral on this. Is it beige or white? This is the
Like
new
the
challenge
dress or whatever.
It's like the dress. Is it a beige or white shirt? But yeah, I'll take that. I'm cuter. I get that. It's okay. Ben's handsome too.
Yeah,
We're both handsome. Brian's handsome.
it's semantics.
That's the only reason we're popular is because we're good looking.
right.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
know
excited
about
though for the.
opinions.
I'm excited for the new season.
I cannot wait for the new season.
April 19th.
It's April, so yeah, you won't have to wait till July this time.
Okay, quick question since we're live anyways, and I can ask you, do you guys think the writing will be better this season compared to the last couple seasons since it's been off of George?
Well, I think they're more focused as to where it needs to go. Like
I see
they
what
know
you're
for
saying.
sure the ending, so I think
So they can kind of curtail it in a little bit better than
Yeah.
before. Because they did, you're right, they did have to kind of fill in a couple, like,
yeah,
random
some
stuff
storylines.
throughout.
It's just like yeah, you know where the storylines end, but like getting to that end, you know, might be a little shaky. But once you get to the end, I think the end should be good.
oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait till the end. I mean, I'm sad for it to end, but I'm also excited to see how it wraps up finally.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's like when something ends, it is kind of sad because you're like, oh, there's no more of this. But the finality of some things also brings a good sense of like closure
Yeah, it's
and
true.
satisfaction.
Helps
Yeah.
you understand your own closure.
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, I've been watching it now.
God, so long you guys have been watching it. It's
5,
only been 2 years for me.
I started in the middle of season 3.
and I started. Yeah, I think the same for me. So I think that's at least 5 years. Probably more because the way they release, they usually do a season and sometimes 2 years. All right, well, they'll do a season and then they won't release that next year, and then they'll do like kind of because they don't.
It's
like a year and a half.
Just about every year. Westworld had a year in between, but like last year, the long hiatus was, like it was just pushed back to July instead of April. It normally
Yeah.
came out in like March or April or whatever.
I'm not even at a full year yet, and I'm bitching. I'm at like, when did the last season?
You've been so blessed.
like 6 months that we're at this point. 5 months since the season ended.
No, it's. Oh yeah. Or wait.
Has it been a year?
No, it's been a year and a half.
Oh, okay, it's been a year and a half.
yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, it's been a year and a half.
Okay. I was like, maybe I'm just being a bitch, but okay, no, it's been a year and a half.
Yeah, I think
It
this
feels like it. It feels like 5 years, but I cannot wait for it to come back. Hopefully soon.
They're gonna leave unanswered questions. 76. If you play, you will regret it. I don't know what that means. If you play it, you will regret it. I don't know what that means. Oh, she retracted it too.
Ah,
Maybe she had a typo.
all right, fixing it.
They're gonna leave unanswered questions. I'd be surprised, Jerry. I mean, I think
Like in a poetic way, maybe unanswered questions, but I'm sure they're gonna answer the questions that.
that matter.
Yeah, but I guarantee, there'll be some poeticness to it, to where it's like not everything gets answered.
Yeah, there's
The
gonna-
whole good and evil type clash will get sewed up in a way to where it's like all connected. That's what I really think. I think the White Walkers won't be so demonized in the end. I think it'll show that like the men are actually like the real threat, and like people are its own evil, and I mean it's like been an overarching theme in this whole series, and so I feel like that's kind of where it's going, especially because George R. likes not he said he doesn't like a happy ending, and so I feel like it'll be like a bittersweet but like content ending.
Yeah,
that I'm preparing myself for.
Yeah,
there's going to be obviously some deaths that we don't like, hence the bittersweet. But
he's been preparing us this entire series, so
yeah. I think he's
still
done.
off to Alyssa.
So one thing that I credit the showrunners and just George as a writer too is he had a way of introducing these characters in the beginning, right? And it was clear who he wanted you to hate and who he wanted you to love. And the main person who comes to mind for me who like has had this crazy growth is Jamie, where he's become a character who if you hated him in the beginning.
Episode 1 pushes a kid out a window.
Like he was awful. And he has gone from pushing kid out a window to doing stuff like where he's respectable and he's
jumping in a bear pit with no hand to protect Brienne.
Yeah, and
I think after Brienne, you saw like maybe a little like foreshadowing for the future that there's a chance that you could like him because it showed a little realness to his own personality and like who he is as a true person. And you saw that like Cersei was more of obviously the like
she was the mastermind.
Well, but the thing is that.
But then you even learned about her a little bit more when she went in, when she got taken and her head shaved and everything. Like, I mean, yeah, you're kind of like good, but you're also like, you realize that like people are products of what their environment was, and so as much as they're their own evil, you almost see how they could have became evil.
Yeah,
same with Jamie. I mean. And then you see how much Jamie just loves Cersei, and then you realize him leaving in this last part was like so hard for him too, and without his hand, and he's been beat up through.
There's always been at least, I mean, even before he threw Bran out the window, like in stories that he's told, like he does think he's been morally justified in certain things, like killing. Like he's known as Kingslayer, and people use it as a pejorative term towards him, but he's just like, I saved thousands of people.
That's another thing too,
by killing him because he was going to burn.
But that's still fucked up. Like I get so accustomed to like there's names like throughout the show and everything. But if you really think about it, like he saved the world for them.
Most of King's Landing.
Yeah, most of King's Landing. So I'm saying like everyone who was living there should be in debt to him. Like he should have a statue.
But then Cersei goes and does it anyway.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so wild.
Yeah, I think the show has done a really great aspect of giving you characters that were like, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. And then it was kind of like, okay, now the bad guys they're going through their struggles are not so bad, and the good guys, there's less of them and less of them.
Yeah,
but then, like, the Starks and stuff started doing some
shady things
too. Look at Stannis.
And
like, Stannis was always in the middle.
Family.
But look at that. Look at the Baratheons. The Baratheons
he killed his daughter. He killed his daughter. He was
a
lot
of other fucked up stuff. That's just one girl that it was tied to him. Think about all the other daughters or people that he killed because of the Lord of Light, and all the other shit that he didn't even do that we don't know about. Like, I mean, I just feel like they really do a good job of like just trying to get you to like break that sense of they're good or they're bad, because like
they
want
like
you
to believe everyone's gray.
Exactly, everyone's gray. But it's hard for the Starks because the Starks you really just want to be like, no, they didn't.
Alexandra, unpopular opinion, but I hated Jamie in season 7. He was Cersei's lapdog. Him staying with Cersei craps on his character and the fact he killed the Mad King for the same thing Cersei did. But he did end up leaving at the end of season 7.
He did. He walked away.
Yeah.
I think he's done. I agree with you though. I think. I mean, but that's so in human nature to go back to things that you feel comfort and like you're used to.
Yeah.
Like abandoning someone who you love, you're related to, you have kids with.
There is a slight difference because he was not in love with the Mad King.
Yeah.
So there's already like an instant difference. And then, like I said, he had kids with her.
He was in love, but he was in love with his title, and the title was through honor of honoring the Mad King. So he had to break his title and his honor, and that was a big step for him to break his honor to kill the Mad King. Because I don't think he wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it broke him
So-
as a person
so
to be the dishonored.
Even though yes,
Kingslayer.
Cersei did the exact same thing that the Mad King was going to do, there was still that love there, and he's
Yeah.
not going to just instantly leave her, but it was a process,
I
and
still
he
think he's gonna kill her.
and he eventually did leave.
I think he's
and that's
gonna
the
kill
important part is that he did. He's like, she's crazy. She's like, she saw this freaking white charge at her. Like, these things are real. The Watch is actually telling the truth about all this, and so that was finally the tipping point for him, I guess. So yes, you could argue it took him too long to get to that point,
Well, yeah.
but he eventually got there.
But it's also, like I said, it's human nature. Like, abandoning your family, your lover, person you have kids with, and
Jorah sold slaves.
generally,
Yeah,
like,
you're
the
right,
way
Jorah
you
did sell
kind of,
slaves.
the things you know is something that's not easy. It's going to
Jorah's
take
spine
time.
was the bad part.
So, Fat Lava, thought you guys were dead. Nope, not dead.
None of the Jormans were
None of the
Not yet.
Mormonts were bad.
except Jorah being desperate
Desperate.
at the start. Spine. He also sold slaves.
Yep.
Caught it.
He
Yeah,
was
sure did.
saving up for a yellow shirt, though. He wore that for 3 seasons because he loved it. It took dead men walking for him to leave Cersei.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, he was
I
in love
don't
with.
know
Again, he was
if
in
that
love with
was the
her.
reason,
Like he
but
was
yeah,
not
you're
in
right.
love with the Mad King. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, he was Cersei's lapdog. Like you.
You're right.
Do you
Every-
guys think he's gonna kill Cersei? Do
the
you think
thing
that's
is-
gonna be the tie-up for Cersei? You think somebody else is gonna kill her?
Yes.
Who do you think is gonna kill her?
everybody has their faults in this show. Nobody's
Or do you
perfect.
think she doesn't die?
no, I think she dies. I just don't think it's Jamie.
And
No, what would be really cool is if it was Brienne.
yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that would be dope.
That would be cool.
GOT, the board game, is totes a maze. Which house is your favorite and least favorite house to play as? I'm going to be the quickest answer. I played it once. I've only played as the Lannister, and to be completely honest, it didn't have that much fun.
because
So
Because
we'll
he
see.
worked him.
so
He worked him.
this will be the
Second
5th or 6th time I've played it, and oddly enough, I'm the freaking Greyjoys again. So this will be like the 3rd time out of 6 games that I've played the Greyjoys. I've also been the Martells, the Tyrells, and the Barreur. Oh wait, no. Martells, Starks, Greyjoy. I've never been the Lannisters. I might have been Baratheon once. I really want to play Baratheon again though because there's some really cool
That's me
things that
this
you can
time.
do with it. There's some really cool things. I mean, because I've played the Greyjoys the most, I really do like them kind of. If you get a mustering card early in the game, or if you're able to re-vote on, or for, because like not being able to
Reposition
play
power.
any of the star tokens,
Yeah.
Greyjoy starts off really, really strong, but if you're not able to build units for the first 2 or 3 rounds of the game, you are going to get boned if you piss too many people off too early.
You start getting ports take you and shit.
Yeah,
You're
so-
fucked. You're on an island then.
Greyjoy has some really cool cards, and I like the one. Baratheon and Greyjoy are probably 2 of the better houses at getting a sea presence, and I like the sea presence in the game, being able to create those boat bridges to be able to, like, I'm taking these guys from over here and bringing them all the way over
And
here to
having
attack.
support too. Support
Yeah,
helps a
and
lot.
support. So I like the seafaring ones, and I feel as though Baratheon and Greyjoy are the best at doing that. So those are my 2 favorites.
Have you played it more than one time?
No, just once. I was Stark, and the only reason I feel like I didn't do as good as I should have, I did okay.
I think
And
you actually, I remember you doing pretty well, but you just ended up making one
I
bad
didn't get
move
Moat
towards the
Kalen,
end.
and at the point I didn't realize in the show. Well, I hadn't seen in the show how strategically important Moat Kalen was into the entire board. I mean, I should have. I get it. Like I should have seen the board and been like, "Oh, that's probably a pretty important spot," but I didn't, and Brian was able to take that.
Final round of the game. Well, the
Second to final round. And the only reason was that it was the final round is it didn't look like it was almost over. It looked like it was wide open, and
because
then
I was
Brian
at
took
I was
one
at
more.
4 of 7 castles, and then I just got 3 castles. Bam, bam, bam.
boom, boom, boom.
in round
And
4.
the round before that, he had taken 2 castles. So in a 3-round swing, he took 4 or 5 castles.
Yeah.
So that was an impressive swing, obviously set up by me and Ben here. But next time we won't be. He also, I wasn't able to know the board or any of the cards or anything this time because I hadn't been seeing the entire show.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to prepare a little bit better. Also, we're adding a new dynamic to it. Just like when you send like messenger ravens, it'll be kind of like text messages. So instead of it being like a silent thing or having to like openly discuss betraying someone or doing this or doing that, we're going to open up text messaging to each other as like messenger races.
Well, because a big part of the game is in the negotiation of it, and I
Right.
think I was too worried about making sure that the game was on pace. I'm like, all right, guys, now put down your tokens, now do this. I was trying to get things to go a little bit too fast, so we might slow things down a little bit and just be like texting each other, being like, all right, so put a support token down there so that you can help me attack this person over here.
That's so messed up.
It's dope though. And
Well,
then you
it's
can
a
also be double
negotiation.
texting people too, and like not even like hella lying to people.
That's
Tell
the thing.
them this.
It's a negotiation game
It's gonna add
at
a
its
whole other
heart, and
dynamic
like,
to it. I
yeah,
love it.
like having overt alliances is all well and good, but having those secret alliances could also really change the dynamic of the game.
Also,
so.
Brian beat us in 2.5 hours of a 5-hour game.
Hour and 45
or
minutes.
hour 45. Yeah, he worked us very, very fast. So.
Alexandra, if Cersei gives birth, I hope it's a dwarf. That would be justice. That
Oh
would be,
my god.
I mean, she's not pregnant right now, right?
Yeah, we
She
know.
says she is.
Oh, she says she's pregnant. If
So
that's the
Jaime,
way
but-
she dies, that will
well,
be.
but she also said it to Tyrion, didn't she? Like she.
Oh
kind
yeah,
of-
you're right. She just kind of, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
When he was in there, and she was like, I had to think of what did she say? I had to think about more than just me or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it's like I have more things to worry about now, or something like that, right? Alluding to like she has to worry about another now.
She says she's pregnant. It's whether or not we think she's being emotionally manipulative, like, because
Yeah.
that's totally something she
What
would
was
do.
her prophecy of dying again? It was like the third.
The Valonqar is like the little brother,
Oh, the little brother. Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
but technically,
What if it's she dies in miscarriage and it's the little brother of her first?
Dude, if she
Joffrey,
died in
the
child,
the little brother of Joffrey?
if
Yeah.
she died in childbirth, that would be. I would be satisfied,
I'd be
and
satisfied.
especially if it was a
That'd
dwarf. That is a great thought,
That's fucked
Alexandra.
up.
I
Yeah,
think
it's a dork.
Fat Lava. I think Cersei is gonna have some tough times ahead on her own. I got one question: if they spent nearly $20 million on one episode, do you think they might have budget for ice spiders in season 8? And in parentheses, praise.
Yeah, so in the history and lore, they were talking about like these creatures underneath the wall, right?
go. Right, that were like dormant or whatever, right?
Right. So I think
I'm still waiting on the Naga, so if we're going into lore here, I don't know what the fuck you guys.
Joey's been.
They're gonna
talking
need to
about
spend a lot of
Nagas.
money on the Naga. I don't know what you guys have about ice spiders.
Joey has been hoping for a Naga.
Get the fuck out
ever
of here!
since-
Anyone would rather have to see ice spiders than a fucking Naga.
The
Come
Naga
through.
is this thing that the Greyjoys like.
Yes,
They have like
imagine,
sea creatures.
Imagine
Yeah.
Theon
They'd be-
with a
they'd be-
fucking Naga.
they'd be
that would
relevant.
be insane. That
That'd
would
be
be
relevant.
insane. I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna keep him as a pet, but in one fucking episode, just help him out. I don't know.
And Julia Olsen, mess with me if I can get your address.
I think they're just talking to each other. Or,
Oh.
wait, what?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you want like Joey to text you or something?
She didn't say my name. It's me.
Yeah, I think I mean 20 million for one episode. Well, that's the thing.
There was
with,
a
like,
lot that was going on in that episode that
Okay.
made it so expensive too. It's
The
not
thing
like
with-
the plot itself was expensive. It's
well,
like
the
their
thing with
scenes that they
budgeting for
shot was
episodes
expensive.
too is like yes, a lot of people in the show are on contracts for the show, primarily all the actors and many of the crew, but where certain people come in for only a couple of episodes, like directors and other people, and different locations need to be used for only a couple episodes, like 20 million's a ton of money, but for a show that is this grand in its scale and what like it's going to be some of the longest episodes ever, it'd be great if they do make these new creatures and stuff, but I almost want to say it'd be kind of like
Last minute.
what's
Well,
the point
yeah,
almost.
Also
like,
think about it this way: like 20 million an episode for 6 episodes. That's 120 million dollars, which sounds like a decent budget for an entire feature-length movie. But this is way more than a feature-length movie. This is
what-
like 6 feature-length movies.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Because like they're going to be hour and 20, hour and 30 minutes. So like
Yeah, no.
it's
It's full
still
movies.
pretty. I don't want to say bare bones as a budget. It's obviously still
huge
very
budget.
very expensive.
But the money goes quicker than
yeah,
people think.
It goes very fast.
Especially as like I'm sure actors are getting paid more and more per season. I doubt they have a
Yes,
pro rate.
they definitely are.
Yeah.
As the show got more and more popular, they're definitely making more and more money, and that's due to the show's popularity.
Yeah.
But also, as actors grow in their fame, they're going to get people who fight for more money for them. So yeah, these people, and especially if they're getting more on screen time. Like I can tell you right now, Sansa season 7 made just from her screen time alone versus season like 2 or 3, she's making way more.
Yeah.
Arctic Avenger 83. What if Arya kills her with Jaime's face? The prophecy would technically come true.
I love Arya.
That's something that people have been talking about, but then that would also kind of require Jaime to die.
It would.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it would require Jaime to die. In which case, the discussion for how Jaime dies has to be brought into light.
What would be a good? I don't know if I don't know if I see him dying for that reason though, or at least like early enough to where she could use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The big characters, Jaime, Cersei, Arya, Jon, Daenerys. If they're gonna die, it's gonna be either in the 5th or the 6th episode.
Yeah.
Like it's
they're not gonna be like
it's not gonna be like
season 3.
So okay, let's say Jaime dies in episode 5, right?
Imagine they all die episode 1. We're like, what the fuck? Where do we go from here?
Someone's dying in the first episode.
Hell
yeah.
Someone who's like pretty relevant,
like a Lady Olenna last season.
Yeah,
that was sad. But that was a good ending for.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone like a Theon or a Yara.
Yeah.
If any Greyjoy died episode 1, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yara still is just that's right.
Yeah, she's still there. Are all the Tyrells gone?
Yeah,
it's been a while since we've watched it.
Yeah.
Sorry for if I'm getting stuff wrong.
Yeah, Tyrell's got White.
Yeah. Yeah. Fat Lava, like a Kraken. I'm pretty sure a Naga is.
Yeah, kind of like a Kraken. It's more like a Gyarados in Pokemon. Or like a snake. It's like a snake serpent creature, a huge creature. You guys gotta watch History and Lore too. I'm not. Trying to be a bully here, but seriously, it adds like.
I haven't seen them.
Oh my god, you gotta see them.
I thought
you watched them.
Guys, who are you kidding? They stopped showing the direwolves because it was annoying for them. They were not going to have spiders or a Naga.
I know. You said because it was annoying for them.
Yeah,
That's so true,
I think you're right, but I think that like with the direwolves.
It just depends what George R. R. Martin told them and what's actually important to the plot. Like, if the Naga's not important to the plot, they're obviously not going to have it. If he mentioned, this thing also happens, but it's not, like, important to the ultimate thing in the end, then yeah, it's definitely...
It's not going to happen, yeah. Like, the only... with the thing with the direwolves, they stopped showing because they were annoying... Yes, possibly.
And expensive.
But it's expensive, but also, like, how relevant overall were they to what was going on?
Right. Like their early story.
Ghost should have been in Battle of the Bastards, but...
Exactly. Ghost should have been in Battle of the Bastards. He wasn't. But think of how grand that episode was in its stature.
True.
I mean, I can tell you right now, the amount of people you saw on screen... This is an obvious thing. You guys know this. But the amount of people you saw on screen were not there. That being said, a bunch of money goes into creating CGI people that are that believable.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think we'll see more of Ghost. I don't think we're gonna see Nymeria
Plus,
again.
I think the White Walkers are gonna have a huge role in this last season too. So you gotta see them more on camera too. That's gonna be expensive.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Nymeria again. I don't think we'll. I think we'll see Ghost, and that's it. Like, there's no more. Yeah, I don't know. I think
the last episode he's gonna wake up out of the book and the
we were talking earlier about someone asked a question. They were like,
"How do you think it's gonna end?"
They're like, "How do you think it's gonna end?" We think Jon and Daenerys are gonna have a baby, and the baby's gonna become king, and it'll do like a time skip to where. And then I was like, "No, I don't really see that happening." But then Brian made a good point. Well, what if this is just Sam telling A Song of Ice and Fire to the kid when he's on the throne?
That is sick. That would be dope. That would be low-key kind of cool. Because then it's cool because then they could always... Not that there's already not a ton of spin-off opportunities, but if they wanted to make a spin-off, it would be like a perfect opportunity to like...
Oh, this next question, you named one of the people in the question. That is my absolute answer. Of all the characters that never made a mistake but still got slaughtered, like Marjorie or Osha, who are you most sad about? Marjorie!
Yeah.
Would you not say she made a mistake, though?
Okay, so...
She didn't.
She made a power play.
The Sparrow made a mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was,
That's true.
when she died, she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time type of thing. That being said, I don't think it was a mistake on her
That's
part.
also Brian's fucking.
It's the same thing that we all heard in season 1. If you play the Game of Thrones,
You're always
You
exactly.
either win or you die.
exactly. And she
I did
was
like Marjorie,
playing
though.
like she,
Definitely playing.
her rise to
She was winning,
power to
but she
become
lost.
queen was fast.
Yeah, she went from Highgarden to.
She tamed Joffrey almost. Then Joffrey dies, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'll get with." Yeah.
So like, mistake like.
And she pissed. Let's be 1,000. She pissed Cersei off. That's the only reason the Sparrow even had an opportunity to even become in power, was because she was pressuring Cersei in her own house.
Yeah.
And so she let someone else get power because Marjorie was getting too strong.
And-
Marjorie poked the bear in the cave.
And I'm
the
just
bear
playing, yeah.
bit.
I'm just playing devil's advocate with that. Like
Not that I love Marjorie. I'm just saying.
I agree with you. I think I was most sad about Marjorie
Who's
too
the other
because I think she, at her heart, was one of the
Osha?
more.
The
like-
fuck out of here. OSHA played her own thing too. I mean, I guess she was just trying to live, but
Yeah.
OSHA also was like flipped when she shouldn't have flipped, and like I don't know. OSHA also I feel like was her own.
I think
demise
Osha
as
was
well.
more good than Marjorie in many.
Oh,
in
yeah.
many
Yeah,
ways.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because Osha had her.
Let's be 1,000. Out of all the people who didn't make mistakes, what's Stannis' daughter?
Shireen.
Shireen was the fucking only person that I think really was like, or the kid from the, or he didn't die, but the kid from the wall, he hasn't died yet though. He's
Yeah.
30%.
Okay. Shireen.
Shireen though, I think
Yes.
Shireen was the
Shireen
one.
is actually the best
and,
answer.
and she was definitely like a part of the series too. Like it was sad when she was talking to Davos, and poor Shireen kept in a cage her whole life because.
Most sad about would be Shireen as far
Yeah.
as sad.
But yeah, I do agree. Marjorie really did die a little prematurely, in my opinion.
And the thing is, yes,
She's a
the Tyrells were very
Hi.
very proactive in or they were not the nicest of people, but they still at least were decent rulers to a point.
Yeah.
You know, their people were well fed.
Yeah.
Like they always made, like Marjorie was making a point. Yes, even if it was towards her own gains of gaining power, she was still showing compassion to commoners
was
when she was with Joffrey. Yes, there was ulterior motives. It wasn't completely altruistic, but they were still better than the Lannisters. It's not a high bar to go by.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might not be like quite the Starks, but they were still really good-ish.
What's up, Dirty Bass Boy? What's up, Rex O? Thanks for joining the stream, guys. Yeah, I think it, like, going back to what we were saying, like, the show paints people so gray. Like, you're saying Marjorie, like, she was playing the game, being altruistic, but was she?
Yeah.
Like, that's why Shireen wins.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say Shireen wins.
Well-
but if we're just talking about the two you mentioned, to me,
Or Hodor.
Oh man, Hodor is a huge one too. Actually, that's sad as fuck.
There's a lot of innocent deaths.
That was, I mean, it was an innocent death, but it's almost like a warrior's death. Like it's almost an
Talisa.
honor to have him die like that to save Bran if he actually does end up doing something.
yeah.
Technically, yeah, it wasn't Talissa's mistake. It was Rob's mistake.
Yeah. A lot of innocent deaths in this show. The two you mentioned, Marjorie and Osha, like, you could argue that those, because we're mentioning, like, Shireen, Hodor, Talisa, like, these were people who quite literally
I'm gonna get
did
into Talisa.
nothing wrong
I'm
and
still
died.
shook off Talisa. Like Talisa still to my core hurts. They named him Ned.
I would, if it were up to me, who I was more sad about, Marjorie, but it's because I just liked her more as a character. But the one that, like, was more unfair was Osha, I think. Because I think Osha, yes, she tried to kill Bran in the beginning, but then from that point on, like, her whole life was protecting those kids.
Right.
As much as you could say Hodor was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Like, she bickered and stuff with, name here. The sister of the kid who could also see stuff.
Oh, Jojen?
What's the sister's name?
Mira?
Yeah, so she, like, bickered with Mira, and she would, like, be fighting a lot with Jojen. But I don't know. Fat Lava, Shireen, yeah, she even sparred with Red Woman. Yeah, like she was a good character.
So bro, have you lot had a school shooter in your school yet? No.
Well, none of us are in school.
No.
We're all old. That being said,
I haven't been in school in 9 years.
I'm in college, but no, we haven't had a school shooter.
Well, that being said, like Thousand Oaks shooting was
really close to us.
Really close to us. Yeah, it's a really scary freaking thing. Will Melisandre save the day or anything that will change your view on her?
I mean, the Lord of Light is the antithesis, I think, of the White Walkers, because the Lord of Light brings people back to life too.
Yeah,
and they're actually alive, as far as we know. I mean, John does say that he feels like a part of him is still missing, so maybe. Yeah. And Thoros. Beric Dondarrion said every time he came back to life, he.
But didn't Thoros say it took something away from him too? Maybe. Using the power or no?
Possibly, but I know that Beric
was the one who said
so maybe they're like it's the opposite of being a White Walker, but also they might not still be completely human. So John might not be fully human,
and he might be some type of like the same side of the White Walker.
So I mean, if Melisandre and the Lord of Light are the counterpoint that actually ends up beating, I mean, because really everything that she's been doing has been to destroy the White Walkers, whether or not it's moral or not, where like she thinks it's moral because of the greater good.
She's also a fucking witch.
The end justifies the means.
Pretend, like, I think we forget that too. Like, she's been around a long fucking time and done a lot of fucked up shit.
She does some horrid stuff where the end justifies the means, but everyone in this show practically does that. Jamie threw Bran out a window.
Wasn't there a theory that she was like something starfish or somebody's sister from the history and lore? We were talking about her possibly being somebody else in hiding.
The Red Woman?
Yeah.
Melisandre?
Remember there was a in the old history and lore there were like two.
Well, there was another Red Priestess that went to Daenerys.
No. The one I'm talking about was it was Targaryen. So like she was like one of the descendants, and like she like escaped and ran away. And like no one had ever seen her again. You really don't remember? I swear there was a Melisandre's identity was like. Possibly. There's a theory about it.
It's been a while since.
I know it has been a while,
and we only watched them once, so.
She might become somebody else too. Like she might have been somebody. Oh yeah, what's her name? Cause she knew she thought the brother of Brendan. What's his name? The guy in the fucking tree. It's been a minute.
Brendan Rivers?
Yeah, his sister, or the guy he loved, or the girl he loved, or something. There was a connection there. Damn, I thought I would get you there if I just brought that connection there. You still didn't. Damn, never mind then. Yeah, Brendan Rivers, not sister, but her is like lover or something, right? No, am I bugging? When you guys rewatch this, go ahead and post it in the comments so Brian can remember.
Fat Lobla. Thoros said he was just the lucky drunk who said the words.
Okay.
Going back to what we were talking about before. Alexandra, which character do you hate the most, minus the obvious ones such as Joffrey or Ramsay?
I don't even hate. Well, I hate Ramsay, but it's sad how endearing his character also was.
He was a good character, but he is obviously a shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like the show designs characters you're supposed to hate.
But probably Joffrey.
Well, yeah.
No, but he said besides Joffrey.
Besides the obvious.
Oh, these are between those two.
No.
Oh well, then what's the obviously I can't think of his name, but obviously
Craster.
No, Craster's a piece of shit too. No. The Red Wedding.
Oh,
Walder Frey.
Walder Frey.
Yeah, I think
Walder Frey.
Walder Frey would be up there.
He's
probably the Frey family in general would be up there. More personally, I know this might be a cop-out as well, but Lord Bolton, he was also...
Roose Bolton.
Yeah, he was a cock as well.
Yeah, I think I'd probably be Roose.
Yeah.
Bolton.
I think this show, I think the show does a really, really fine job at giving you characters, and they're like, we're gonna make you hate this person so much. And you do usually. Exhibit A, Joffrey.
Sierra Seastar. You don't remember that? I was talking about that?
been a
Okay,
while.
still not, guys. But yeah, that's who I was talking about. Thank you, Garrix.
Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. Oh, that Jerry Moore. Oh, that's right. Sorry. Hey, how you doing?
What does that mean, Jerry? Join as a fire weight. Can you
Fire White, maybe?
fire white? Join
J-
as-
John.
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 Jon Snow.
Yeah,
John is a fire white.
Instead of being like a winter white.
a winter white, a fire white.
Fire White.
Has
Oh,
that been,
so
has that
white's
been
like just undead
introduced?
name?
Well, no. That's just theory.
A theory.
Oh, it's a theory.
That like, yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, that'd be I like
Well, like I was saying,
think I would.
this was when we were talking about them being the antithesis of each other.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I kind of disagree with.
Like an undead of the fire, undead of the.
I don't know because whenever I think of antithesis, I think of good versus evil, and I don't think either of them are good. Because
But they are the complete opposite.
Fat Lava when Melisandre was burning people, she always looked happy. Yes,
Their half brother and sister.
yes. She told Stannis to burn his child.
Thank you, Alessandra, as well.
Yeah, like
You guys come in so clutch. I wish I
Yeah.
could have you in my everyday life. I wish I could just like look up to the camera and be like, "Hey guys,
what am I thinking?
what am I really actually?"
Alexandra,
supposed to
Shira Caesar was a Targaryen bastard like Brynden, meaning their half brother and sister. It's never said what happened to her after Brynden left. Man, I need to watch the
do? Don't
History of
sing.
Lore.
It's so good. The history and lore is so good.
You know, we do need to, before the show starts in 4 months, or 4.5 months, I guess, we need to,
Feels like forever.
or 5.5 months, I guess would be, but, like, we need to either rewatch all 7 seasons, or
Yeah,
the history and lore and the 7 seasons, I don't know.
I'm down. We gotta figure that out. though.
Justin
I'm down.
already did it. I talked to
Of
Justin.
course he did.
I talked to Justin last week.
You know what we do?
I talked to Justin last week, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I just rewatched all of Game of Thrones," and I'm like,
He's done that now 8 times.
"I'm
or
like,
9
dude,
times.
you're a beast."
We could
Before-
do it
before
when
each
each
new
season
season-
stops
yeah.
instead of each episode, where we could do like quick recaps and then do like a longer hour recap per season instead of doing it like hour per episode. You know what I'm saying? Revisiting, we could do like a 20 or 15 minute per cap episode after retalk, and then we could do like an hour for per season to power through because we only have 4
and
months.
it could be like things that you missed on your first
Yeah.
watch through, being like, "Oh my god, the foreshadowing!"
And we could even do little quick ones of like rewatching the ones that we've already watched again after. Yeah, I like that idea.
John didn't get burned when Magnar of Fens threw him across that forge. John didn't get burned when Magnar of Fens threw him across that forge.
It might have been in a book.
Huh. That's a good point.
What forge?
In the episode where the wildlings are coming across the wall, Magnar of Fens was the big bald dude, the one who was like trying to kill him. And he throws him across the forge, and Fat Lava was saying he didn't get burned.
But that was also before John died, though.
No, it was it?
Yeah, the wildlings attacked in season 4, episode 10 or 9. The wall.
Yeah.
Oh
it was
yeah,
4
that's a
4,
good
9.
point. Well, but it
The
doesn't
villain is the
necessarily.
hero on the other side.
But it might be because of his
Very true,
Targaryen
Jerry.
blood. You know what I mean?
Very true.
He might be a son of like.
And did he get burnt in like the first season?
We haven't seen
did
all
he
the
get, Did he
DVD
get burned
commentaries
when he
yet.
was saving the Lord
But they are
Commander
good.
and he threw the fire at
I
the...
thought he did, but I'm not sure.
I
It's
like that
something
they
you'd
just
have to
don't
go
add
back and look.
We haven't seen the DVD commentaries as much as they're interesting just because you get a perspective of like the actor and like the writers of what they might say. It doesn't add too much context as much as like, not that I'm saying like I would watch them as well, but just like it's not the same as like the history and lore just because I feel like the history and lore adds like context for the entire series and
The
like
world.
the world, as where the DVD commentaries is almost like a bonus is like, oh, what the writers were trying to get out of this episode or what the actor thought about this character,
What the
which is all
director was
cool.
going
Don't get me
for.
wrong, I love watching that stuff too, but we haven't watched I think any of the DVD commentaries.
No, we haven't watched
no,
any
no.
of the commentary, no. Nope.
Anymore. The villain is the hero of the other side.
Jerry coming through with
Yeah.
that. So true though. I love.
Well,
I feel like
and-
that's what's going to be the overarching theme of
and,
like
uh,
the entire
In,
series.
in similar fashion, like, you know, history is only written by the victors.
John got burned from Lantern Season 1 when he rescued Lord Commander Mormont.
There we go, so he did get burnt.
There's one thing that I've always thought. So we see Daenerys, episode 1, walk into the tub, right? that like the servant's like, oh, miss,
yeah,
it's
the
too hot, it's
scorching
too
hot.
hot, and she's not burned.
She can't
What-
be burned ever.
What about her? The past before that, was she ever burned by anything before? Or,
Well-
or is there something that can be awoken in them? Like, remember the don't
This-
wake the dragon.
This is also where you start getting differences in the book and the show. though.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, because people that have read the books do know the answer to that, or I believe.
Well, can we not know? What the fuck? I gotta read the book. What do you mean they don't know the
Pretty
answer? What's the
sure.
answer?
I'm pretty sure the whole unburnt thing is only in magical situations.
Yeah, it's like exaggerated.
Like
in the
when
show.
when she hatched the dragons, that was a magical situation.
Ah, I see. It wasn't like the tub situation.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It
I
was
think
like
that-
she's just always fucking
Yeah,
walking
I think
through
the
fire,
show
could never be burned.
stretches the.
Oh,
being
you know what else
burned.
she also didn't be
as
burned?
far
Was-
as I know.
Also, I mean, in the show is when she was in the Dothraki camp.
Yep.
And she burned down that whole house.
Mhm.
And she just walked out like a badass after. And like, low key, her not being burned is the reason that she's gotten part of. Oh, I'd say like a good 50% of it. Originally, is why she got her claim to fame was because all these people started worshiping her because she
goddess.
was as a goddess. I mean, yeah, they loved her, but she would have never gotten to the position she got to even free Unsullied if it wasn't for the fact that she was hatching dragons out of fire in front of the Dothraki, and then also later burning down an entire Dothraki camp and not being burned inside of it as well. So I feel like that's also a big part. Not that I don't love Daenerys, but I feel like it's funny that became such a big part of her identity.
Yeah. That when Hodor is first called to Bran's bed, he runs into the room from the hall and says, "Hodor." Okay. Did we say something?
I don't know.
That's in context. Jerry, give us context on that one.
Yeah.
We've been word vomiting.
Not every Targaryen was immune to fire. Daenerys is an anomaly. Look at Viserys; he died from the molten gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the thing is, like, if you're talking about prophecies and stuff, they're always like, "Oh, who's Azor Ahai? Who's the prince who was promised?" I mean, like, and there are the prince who was promised and Azor Ahai the same person, which I believe George R. R. Martin accidentally let slip that they are the same person. So, which would mean John.
So you're saying one of the differences between the book and the...
No. Like, in an interview...
No, I was saying Jerry. Jerry said in the book, Rickon first runs up to John and hands him arrows instead of Hodor running up and yelling Hodor. There's like one of the differences in the book between the book and the...
There's a lot. I mean,
there's
there's not a
other
ton of,
differences,
like... Alexander said, it's believed the Targaryens can just tolerate heat more than the average person. They
just
aren't
not
immune,
immune,
though. Yeah, I mean, I think the show definitely stretches. Like, she sat in her husband's pyre all night while it was burning. That is a little bit more than
Resistance.
tolerate more heat.
Yeah.
But again, that was a special situation.
But exactly, magical situation, dragons and stuff, and going back to what we were talking about with John and with him falling on the forge. I mean, him having a fight, I wouldn't deem a magical situation. So, I don't think I don't know. Yeah, Jerry and Alexander, you guys are awesome. Thanks for contributing so much.
He's
Foreshadowing. Yeah, I don't know. I think the show is... I think they've picked their stance on Daenerys. I think they've claimed that Daenerys is immune to, like, flame, heat, fire. I think the show, that's the stance they've made.
yeah.
So, if we're going to go with that, then I would say no, Jon does not have that quality.
Unless it was after he was reborn.
Unless, because we have not shown him
It
yet.
could be like Neo in the Matrix being like, "You're not the one yet. Maybe you're waiting for your next life or thing." So like maybe when Jon came back, when Melisandre resurrected him, now he's finally Azor Ahai realized, or the prince he was promised realized.
Yeah. Maybe now he can, but we haven't seen him in that situation
Right.
yet. Because, like you were saying, the Forge was before that. Foreshadowing is their deaths.
I still can't believe John and Daenerys fucked on the boat on the way over.
They didn't know, man. They didn't know.
I know.
And
wonder
I
when
just
they're
think
gonna
it's...
realize.
I thought the funniest part about that was that, like, Bran was watching.
Yeah, right? He knew. What the fuck is wrong with Bran?
That was so funny.
Bran's dead. Bran's not even really. Bran's now the...
He's dead inside.
He's the three-eyed raven.
He's
He's
the
not
three-eyed
Bran
raven, he's not
anymore.
even
Yeah, he
Bran.
did say he's not even Bran anymore, kind of ish.
Bran's dead. He seems way more or way less compassionate than Brendan Rivers though, as the three-eyed raven. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Brendan Rivers.
Give it
wasn't
time.
So, yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, he's still learning.
Joey, with the logic that if Daenerys didn't have the dragons, then she wouldn't have achieved what she did, the same can be said about the Starks and their wolves and the Lannisters with their gold.
Very true.
Absolutely. I think
Very true.
every major power player in the show has an asset that they use to get their power.
Except the Greyjoys have never had a Naga.
Shut the fuck up. That's why they're not
Just
powerful.
saying. Yeah, it's true. That's why they're not powerful.
If the
But yeah, I agree.
If
I
the
agree.
White Walkers make it as far south as the Crossroads, how will Hot Pie use his Hot Pie skills to weaken the army of the dead?
What's going to happen is he's going to make his direwolf. He's going to make his direwolf hot pies, and
Throw shards of dragon glass in them, and so when they eat
Nymeria
them,
is going to come and eat them, and become like a super direwolf.
Nice.
That's the only logical thing.
Maybe he'll just feed the White Walkers. Maybe the White Walkers are just hungry. They've been in that cold. Maybe they just need a couple hot pies. That'd be the ending episode. You just start handing them out. And like,
It's not Sam who's telling the story to the king. It's Hot Pie.
nice.
He's like, when I killed the whole White Walker army with my hot pies.
While they're eating. That would be a cool one.
So what do you think Gendry's significance going forward is? Because we finally got an answer, which, I mean, a lot of us predicted that he was still in King's Landing anyway.
Yeah.
And they
I wonder how that's
finally
gonna end.
revealed that.
So
I think he's going to be the one that's responsible for forging Valyrian steel.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, he's a master blacksmith.
Yeah.
And
Forging Valyrian, because they're
Yeah,
mining it.
they have
in-
dragon glass.
They're
Mining
mining
dragon
dragon glass,
glass.
which could be an ingredient in Valyrian steel. So it's either Sam that's going to figure out the secret through the Citadel, or Bran that's going to find out the secret through his green sight. Like either Sam or Bran is going to figure out how to forge Valyrian steel, and then Gendry's the one that's actually going to do it.
Why can't they just use the dragon glass?
I mean, they can, but
just
Valyrian steel is cooler.
And it's stronger, though, too, no, isn't it? Or there's something that was different, that was more important to the Valyrian steel.
Perhaps some pies lined with Valyrian steel. That's what Brian was saying to the dragon glass.
And the probably didn't even know that we were about to go the Valyrian steel route because that was 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. We're all on the same wavelength here, chat.
Lethal gravy. Hot Pie's gravy is what will kill the White
Lethal
Walker.
gravy cannons.
Nice. Just...
Yeah, it won't be the what was it? The wildfire. It'll just be Hot Pie's dragon glass gravy. And they're gonna explode that under the White Walkers.
I wonder if they'll make like a new wall of wildfire to like hold back the White Walkers to give them time or something. Like, I wonder if they'll set something ablaze
I know
to
that,
like hold them off.
Well,
to, like, give
yeah,
them
because
breaks.
natural fire does nothing to them.
Yeah, but I wonder if like wildfire.
Because it simulates Dragonfire-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe, potentially.
So I wonder if like that fire, but then like maybe the dragon comes with just ice. Fucking, that was crazy. Him riding the ice dragon.
That's something we haven't even touched on. Like, what does the
pie that was promised?
What does the prospect of the Night King now having his dragon really like introduce into the
He can
the
come
world?
attack. Well, now they have catapults. Maybe that's why they did the whole, or not catapults. I mean like the huge, massive crossbow. Maybe that's why they introduced it. Is because I used to be mad about that when they're like, wow, now they got fucking crossbows when Daenerys had dragons. But maybe they were just setting it up for much later needed when the Night King may attack King's Landing and they need crossbows.
Yeah, because the Night King essentially did the same thing to the dragon beforehand, except he was just a beast and just threw it. Like,
javelin!
Yeah, he just javelin tossed it. Now,
Yeah.
like, humans have the gigantic crossbows.
I bet you we're going to come back and see Cersei has like them lined around the fucking castle.
So I think so this is Alexandra. I think Gendry may rule Storm's End and the Stormlands in the end. He's the last person with Baratheon blood. However, at the same time, he's illiterate, which is a major disadvantage.
That'd be cool.
Something you can learn, though. Davos was learning to read.
Yeah, and Gendry's still young. But yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason why there's someone of Baratheon blood still around.
Yeah.
Probably not for the Iron Throne.
I wonder if they're just gonna keep each house and somebody. Well,
Just everybody having their own lands instead of it being the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, the Tyrells though don't have anyone left.
Yeah. Randall Tarley got fried, right?
Yeah,
Like,
cooked alive by the dragon. Oh, maybe Sam. Maybe Sam will rule it then. They'll go back to
yeah,
Sam.
Sam might be able to do the Riverland. No, he's a maester. He doesn't have any.
Oh,
right
that's
to
true.
Rule. He doesn't have any right to rule anything. I don't think.
He left.
Yeah.
He's not a maester.
Oh.
He left.
Sam could.
And he disobeyed the code.
Imagine him living in High Garden.
Wait, did he leave? I know he disobeyed the rules.
No, he left. He definitely left because he left for.
Yeah,
he
what's
left
his
with
name?
his knowledge.
He told Bran. He was the one that told Bran that the marriage was annulled,
Yeah,
and that's when Bran went back to actually see the marriage.
that was wild. Which we already kind of low-key knew about because of the history and lore.
Iato. Hello, guys. Nice to see you. Are back. Nice to see you, dude. Hello, everybody.
But back to Fat Lava. Just to go back to your Sam narrator theory, when he saw that White Walker hunched against a rock, he should have died. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Although some people say that part of White Walkers is like intellectual warfare or like mental warfare as well. So like the fear factor. They like killing Sam in that moment would do less than him actually going back and spreading the fear or something. I've heard some people try to argue. Yeah.
That was wild. He
Hello,
really
everybody.
didn't get killed from them. They just looked right at him.
Yeah, in season 2. Well,
Or
also like
past
the
him.
angles of the rock also were kind of funky.
Yeah,
because
so
it made
it may
it
have-
look like he looked directly at Sam.
But he could have missed him. You're saying?
Yeah.
They were trying to say he was just close call. That's true. Yeah, I don't think he was like. Yeah.
Tyrells are a massive family in the books, and there's still multiple cousins. But in the show, I think Sam will possibly rule the Reach. And Jerry just followed the exact same thing. Alexandra and Jerry, you are really on the same wavelength.
Wait, the Reach? I thought the Reach was ruled. So wait, where's Highgarden? What's Highgarden?
I think that's in the Reach.
Yeah.
Oh, that is in the Reach.
Yeah.
So then, what was Littlefinger at then?
The Riverlands?
He was
No,
the
no,
Erie.
The Erie.
No. I'm talking about the fuck. I thought the Reach was like that really tall ass fucking where Tyrion was like in that
Right.
sky cage. Isn't
That's
that
the
Reach?
Erie.
Oh, that's the Erie. I thought that was the Reach. Am I tripping?
They might,
I mean,
be the same,
guys.
they might be the same thing. The White Walkers leave witnesses.
Yeah.
Marjorie has 3 brothers. One was lamed by Oberyn in a joust, but Oberyn became really good friends with him after.
So, any questions we have
Oh,
about
she
the
has
book,
two
we can
brothers.
just bam.
I was gonna say, Alexandra, you're like
on top of it.
on top of your
Since
shit.
we don't have Justin here right now.
Yeah, Justin usually are.
But Justin's also
Maester.
a binge reader.
Yeah.
Like he reads really fast.
Oh, the White Walker leaves witnesses is what Jerry was saying about her.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe they're not just murderous cannibals, and that was what they was trying to prove early on. It was a foreshadow for the fact that they're not the demons that everyone thinks, and that they're just going for a purpose.
they were used as tools in the beginning.
So
Yeah,
maybe
like the
they're not
children
just
of the
random
forest
murderers.
to
They're calculated.
Yeah, the children of
And
the
they're not
forest
trying to tell.
made them as
Maybe
a
that's-
tool.
Maybe that's what we're gonna find out. Is that's the last ending, was to find out that the Starks really were bad guys in the beginning, and like that's why there was even the point of the White Walkers was the Starks' fault, because they were descendants of the first men, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the first men were the
Because it was the
reason-
first men versus the children of the forest.
Yeah,
right?
so maybe eventually we'll find out fully now, even though we all think it, that Starks were actually originally the evil, and that's why the fact that there's even White Walkers in the first place, and that's what Bran has to rewrite.
Because,
Six.
I mean, that infamous thing where the children of the forest stabs.
Yeah, what Ben said, Alexander, the Reach is House Tyrell. Tyrion was in the Vale.
The Vale, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
the
Thank
Vale
you.
in the Erie.
The Reach and the Veil. Okay, yeah, sorry, the Veil.
Because a lot of people have talked
Knights of
about
the
how the guy who gets stabbed by the dragon glass
Was
to
the first
create
man,
the
yeah.
first White Walker was obviously a first man, but he also looks like he could be a Stark.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the history and lore it said the Night King.
Was
There's,
originally
the thing
a
is,
Stark,
there's
right?
Knights King, and then there's the Night King.
The Night's
And I
King
think-
was the first.
I think Knights King was a Stark.
Yeah.
Or something like that they said in the history.
Because there was like the woman in the ice, right? Like
yeah. So that person was a Stark.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Again, Ben needs to watch History and Lore, and I need to rewatch everything.
Yeah,
especially
seriously.
because it's been a while.
The fact that I didn't know the Veil is disappointing. I was pretty on top of my shit. It's been a minute though.
Yeah. And everybody again is talking about the Eyrie and the Reach. All right.
Lava.
So relationships between Tyrion and Daenerys at the end of season 6 was rock solid. Now it isn't. Do you think it might deteriorate more?
No.
No. Yeah.
I do not. I think that relationship will only grow and benefit both of them for what they want. I think the turbulence in the relationship was...
Just the fact that Tyrion was losing some battles that...
Yes.
You know, there were... He thought he was out-maneuvering people, and that led to him being outmaneuvered, but she can't really fault him for that. I mean, he's not meant to be a military strategist generally. I mean, he did a great job defending King's Landing because he had an ace up his sleeve with the wildfire.
Exactly.
But you know, I mean, he just knows how to rule. Like, he's a great advisor to have to actually rule, and she knows that. She knows his use just from the short stint that they had in Marine with him helping try to at least regulate things,
which did not work at all.
I studied A-level history. Don't know what A-levels are in the U.S., but I know more about Game of Thrones history, which is worrying.
It's not worrying. Don't worry.
It just means you're passionate about something.
George R. R. Scott.
There's nothing wrong with being passionate.
Once we find the end of this season, we'll understand the meaning of life. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Good.
George R. is about to give it to us in season 8.
Marat.
So I think for Marat, I think they wanted the Night's Watch to simply scatter in the books because they wanted to attack the wildlings. They wanted the wildlings to get on the other side of the wall. And then Jerry Starks have first men's blood. Story of Ygritte tells Jon. That's also why that they're able to become green seers, I believe, because why all of the weirwood trees are very important to the Starks because it does tie them to the first men. Like they're the old gods, you know.
Yeah, like Jojen was also his family was the descendant of the first men.
Oh yeah,
the Reeds.
Oh yeah, we got to see the Reeds. We got to see, but that was a big part of the history and lore that they just skipped over.
Marat's saying that Tyrion will betray Daenerys.
I disagree. I don't see it. I think they added the turbulence in their relationship.
I think Tyrion will betray Daenerys possibly if Daenerys becomes
the Mad Queen.
Yeah. And I think I could see that happening, and Tyrion having to
being the younger Kingslayer, Queenslayer.
Honestly, and I think that would be a perfect. But then also, I think the whole Zora's Jon killing her might be a thing too.
If I was gonna say if he's gonna betray her, and she becomes the Mad Queen, it's the only instance in which he'll betray her, and it's because he will then choose Jon over her.
Yeah, but that might even be after the baby has been born, because I do 1000% think that there will be a baby that's born.
Because Jon's just generally the more
which is crazy, because that'll be an aunt and a nephew having a baby, not even just having sex, having a baby.
Well, that's not uncommon with Targaryens.
Yeah,
that's true.
So American nationalists I think the Night's King and Night King are the same guy, but people pronounce them differently because they get confused. I don't know.
Then that would be saying that the original Night King that we're talking about a long time ago is the same Night King that's attacking right now, which I don't think is the case.
Maybe.
Are you saying
again, we'll have to watch the history because that was History and Lore season 1 or 2. I think
it was really early on.
All right, Jerry. I want to know what the voice said when Varys was cut.
Same.
Yeah.
Same, dude. That's something that, if that's an unanswered question, I think a lot of people will want that answered, but I don't know how relevant it is to the whole story.
Yeah, it might not be relevant to this story, but it could be one of the things that they go back. Because,
it was a wizard who cut him, right? The guys claimed he was a wizard.
Yeah. That's why he's hated magic his entire life.
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting the comments coming in. Sweet. Feel like Tyrion might make it because of his Imp's Delight speech.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's how the Night's King was made in the books. However,
maybe he'll rule the Lannisters.
Huh?
He'll be like their Lannisters. He'll carry on for the Lannisters, maybe. Tyrion.
I don't know if the Night King's made the books, or that's not the case in the show. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about how the show can sometimes stray from the books and exaggerate the books and other things. American Nationalists.
Green Seeing is from Cat's Blood. They might tease us to think that
What does
Tyrion...
that mean? Green Seeing is from Cat's Blood.
From what? Cat, the character.
Catelyn Stark. Okay.
Catelyn Stark. Because again, Bran is the one that is showing the most strength with the Green Seeing, but there's been other. Again, I don't want to go too much into the books, so.
I feel that like going sometimes too far into the books it kind of can hurt.
Yeah. Only thing you can infer what Kinvara is the other Red Woman, said to Varys is that he was put on a life course of action that needed him to be politically powerful.
Because she knew she knew a bunch of stuff about Varys, right, when they talked?
Yeah. That's why he was surprised.
Okay, and then someone was correcting
So
Jerry was saying it was from Cat's Blood, but then Alexander was saying Green Seeing is from Ned's blood. Catelyn was an Andal.
And he says Warg from Ned,
Warging from Ned,
Green Seeing from
Cat.
We don't know. You guys are kind of our knowledge here. They are different things, and it would make more sense that the Warg would come from Ned.
The flame.
This is what the flame said.
Okay.
Weird flex.
All right,
okay.
quick side thread. Everybody has to say what the voice actually said, but the wrong thing from now on. That was great. Weird flex, but okay. I love it.
Unless really...
The voice said, "This ain't it, Chief." I love it. That's
unless
dope.
Dany really turns evil, which I doubt. Yeah, I don't think Dany will turn full target, full mad.
No.
But what if she turns as a white?
What if there's a way for her to use Wildfire to try to save it? But not because what's her name?
She doesn't need to. Her dragons can use
dragons.
Yeah, I know.
Because Wildfire is just a simulation of dragon
2 versus 1. There will be deaths, but like I said, I'm just predicting complete
magical,
complete nullification of all magic. All dragons dead. All White Walkers dead. No more magic. No magic.
I think Cersei is more the Mad Queen. Both her and Mad King got turned on by torture, like burning things, only care about themselves, both only trusted one. Mad King was Varys and Cersei was Qyburn.
Yeah, Mad King trusted Varys. So again, as far as the Mad King is concerned, a very popular theory after the Hodor episode was that maybe Brendan Rivers went back in time and accidentally warged into the Mad King, which is why he just kept on repeating "burn them all" over and over again until he died. Kind of like how Hodor just repeats the same thing over and over and over until he died. So like
sense.
that could have been like one of the mistakes that Brendan Rivers, the original Three-Eyed Raven, made, or it's something that Bran might still accidentally do in the future.
Oh no, I totally see that.
Because they might need to burn all the White Walkers, burn them all. You know.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense.
So
like Bran accidentally is the one who actually works into him in the first place.
Yeah. So.
Alexander at Jerry. Green Seeing is a trait of the Northerners. Jojen had it too, and he's a first man. Yeah. I was going to say Jojen had the green sight, but he didn't have the warging.
Yeah.
Because the warging, green sight is like seeing visions, right?
Yeah.
And then warging is like full
going
into an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Jojen... Could he also?
No, Jojen couldn't work.
Well, no, because I thought he could, but just smaller things. Because when
Is that how they found them?
When Bran warged into Hodor, he was like, "I've never done anything like that."
The only person I know that could warg was that wildling that was across the wall.
American Nationalists. Yeah, no book spoilers, please. I still need to read Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons. I've only read up to the first 3. I've heard they're amazing, dude. None of us have read them. We're just all show people.
Still only 200 pages into the first book. By the way, Joey caught some crap in reactions for not loving Daenerys. I saw that in a few other reaction streams. It's all subjective, and I thought you were fair and reasonable.
Thank you.
Yeah, right?
Thank you, Fat Lobby.
Everyone's entitled to your opinion. Just
Mr.
defend it.
Loba.
Well, that's the thing with a show like this. Like, nobody
Agreed.
is purely good, and everybody has done some
And
shady things.
on 100, I have not been wrong about anything that I've suspected about Daenerys, and I've said it all the truth, that she has tendencies to be selfish. She has tendencies to go a little crazy when she gets upset.
But when she actually
has
listens to her
frustrations.
advisors, she does.
She's amazing. And should be the ruler if she can listen to her. If she can listen to her. Look how quickly she almost dropped Tyrion, though, for losing 2 wars. It was 2, not even wars, battles.
Yeah.
Battles. 2 battles.
But
She's like, kick them.
There's something to be said there.
That's
Like you
true.
said, like Tyrion is not a military advisor.
It's true.
Tyrion is to...
What? He's the only reason that they survived Blackwater Bay. Who are you talking to?
No. But
No.
that was a
The
complete...
ace up his sleeve
That
type
was
thing.
something that
I'm sure
nobody
she will
knew
find.
about, really.
He's gonna go to the restroom.
Okay.
But I was gonna say, like, Tyrion is to Daenerys what Varys was to the Mad King.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. Not sure Jojen is a true green seer as much as a messenger. I don't know. Marat.
There's First Men families from the mother's side as well that can get married into a family, and First Men were all over Westeros. Lannisters, for example.
Are the Lannisters first men? I didn't know that. I don't know a lot of shit, to be honest. Don't judge me, guys. Mira went back home. Did she go back to her dad?
Hopefully, because Jojen will... Or, sorry, not Jojen. Howland Reed... No.
What?
Yeah, is it Howland Reed? That I'm
I
thinking?
think so.
Howland Reed
Yeah.
is the only one that was at the Tower of Joy.
Yeah.
So, he's the... yes, Bran can say that Jon is the son of Lyanna and Rhaegar, but, who's going to believe just some random kid? Whereas Howland Reed is the one person that can actually back up the claim. So yeah, I think Mira does need to go back to her dad. Howland Reed needs to get involved again in all of this.
Wait. Oh, she did make it out. I thought she's the one who carried him and got picked up when... I was like, how the fuck did Mira make it out? But you're right. Mira did make it out.
Yeah.
She took Bran. Duh. Hodor.
Right. People agreeing, Dany is awful. Again, everybody in this show has done some pretty terrible things. Not everybody, but almost everybody.
Only a few that we mentioned.
Hodor, Shireen, they're innocents.
Talissa. She just healed people, including... I'll say it.
The Mad King theory sounds interesting, but I like
Such a rough situation.
to believe that the Mad King is just a maniac. However, the show is its own thing. Now, to be fair, he did still have a proclivity to burning things because he did that to Ned Stark's dad and brother, Brandon, and his brother was Brandon, and his dad starts with an R, I think. But yeah, so he did torture them with fire and stuff like that. So yes, he is still insane before he started shouting "burn them all" over and over again. If it turns out that it was Bran who turned Aerys mad, it'd be hilarious. Then I'd have to forgive Jaime.
Right.
Well, maybe not even that it made him mad. Maybe that's just why he kept repeating it: "Burn them all, burn them all, burn
Right,
them
yeah,
all."
yeah.
Maybe he was already willing to but maybe he wouldn't have burned the city though, or wouldn't have called for burning the city. Maybe he
Right.
would have just been like,
Alexandra, Tyrion is good in times of peace, not war. You need people like Randall Tarley, Robert Baratheon, or Tywin Lannister during war, though Tywin is good for both.
I
Truth.
agree.
Tywin is... Yeah.
Yes,
Tywin was a master. Like
Fucked
that.
it up.
He was a
I miss
great
Tywin.
character. Like
he held everything together, low key.
Yeah. Tyrion took over the political smarts from him, and Jaime was more the militaristic.
But not even as close as good.
Yeah.
Neither Cersei.
It's the funny thing is that he kept on grooming all of his kids for this one perfect thing, and the one he hated the most was the one that was probably the most like him.
Yeah. And honestly, could have been even
politically.
better if he would actually helped him out. Or maybe not. Maybe that's what drove Tyrion to be as good as he is, because he did it in spite of his father.
Yeah. All right. No, the Lannisters would be descendants from the Andal race.
okay, so they're not
All
the
right.
first man.
I hope the Mad King theory is just a theory. I like the idea that tragic events and circumstances made him a lunatic.
Yeah.
Yep. Littlefinger did a lot of damage. I like him more than Dany, though. He should have been king.
Little finger should
No.
have been king.
I don't know. I don't
I
agree.
don't know if I'll call for that one. That's wild. He was
Yeah.
a fucked up guy too.
I mean,
He dimed out Sansa in a heartbeat.
it's got that underdog story because he literally was born to really.
But his underdog story is that he didn't get the girl that he wanted and didn't have the best upbringing. Like, cry me a fucking river. Out of everyone in the entire show, he has one of the least sad stories ever and has, like, the biggest complex over it. Like, he's
Shireen
literally
takes the
driven
cake.
all of his ambition from his
Shireen.
slow beginning. Like, he's literally just been like, because I had nothing and because I couldn't get the woman that I wanted, I'm going to get
His
anything that I want."
rise is the most impressive.
Yeah, I'll say that.
So-
He climbed
from
that
where-
ladder fast.
from where he started, but that doesn't necessarily mean he should rule.
Yeah, it's not like his
Yeah.
call to action is like, he deserves it. He deserves it because he worked for it if he got it, but he doesn't deserve it because he went through a lot.
Hope Cersei does.
Oh, she will.
She will, buddy. Don't worry.
She will.
I'd be so surprised if somehow she makes it out of here alive.
Yeah. Imagine Tywin was still alive and marshaling forces versus the White Walkers.
It'd be awesome, to be honest. Like if
And
probably
I think
get
he would have
everyone-
actually been reasonable, unlike Cersei.
But he would have got everybody together.
but there's a
and
lot
taken care
of
He would have probably sent other people to the front lines and being like, "I'll have the Lannister forces kind of in the back
smart,
here."
Yeah, no, he would not have had.
there's a lot of other implications though if he was still alive. Like
Oh, yeah.
he died what 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Yeah,
So like many other things could have been different up until that point where
Season
the
4, episode 10.
White was presented in front of.
yeah. Cersei.
Like I can guarantee you, not guarantee, but I bet if Tywin was still alive, Cersei would have never been queen. Marjorie would have never died. The Sparrow people would have never risen to the power that they had.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
no.
none of that stuff would have happened
Yeah.
just because he was
He probably would have allowed.
like
Marjorie
an
to,
ultimatum.
yeah, he probably would have allowed Marjorie to.
He liked
Yeah,
Marjorie.
and he wanted the Tyrells to ally with the Lannisters to go stronger, anyways.
Tywin dismissed Daenerys' dragons. I'm not sure he would have taken the White Walkers seriously. Once he actually saw a white, though.
Once he actually saw a dragon,
Well, once he saw how big the dragons were, yeah.
and I don't think he dismissed
like-
the dragons. I also think that he didn't. He oh no, that was Robert.
He never actually saw the
Yeah, you're right.
dragons.
He dismissed the dragons as always.
Because like there was tales of them, but the dragons were still really, really
Yeah,
small
yeah,
at that
yeah.
point. He's like, do we even know if they're gonna be big?
Yeah.
No.
Marat said
Yeah.
Littlefinger is for the equality of all people.
No, he's not.
I don't think I agree either. I
He's
think
equality for himself.
Littlefinger is one of the most selfish
runs a
characters.
whorehouse.
Chaos
he
is
runs
a
a
ladder.
whorehouse.
Like
He can't have
his
quality.
the chaos is a ladder speech is, I think, what you need to know about
Yeah.
Littlefinger.
He sent 2 of his whores to get raped by Joffrey just to gain his favor, and they got killed. That's not fair.
No, I thought didn't Tyrion send the whores to Joffrey?
Oh, actually, you're right.
Well-
I'm sorry. Tyrion did from his whorehouse, but still, I'm just saying he allowed these women that are living in his whorehouse to be killed and done inexplicable things.
Alexander Wright with his Littlefinger's for himself. Damn
Yeah.
right.
And I really like Tywin's character otherwise, but he's not a visionary.
You're right. He's definitely more of like a cut and dry type. He's what he
The
sees,
legacy
he
of the family.
believes.
The legacy of the family, whatever, like that's his sight is just eye on the prize. He knows he's knows the most what he's working towards. There are some people that waver all over the place, but Tywin, part of the reason he was so effective is because he had that vision. He went towards it. Everything he did was for the continuing the Lannister name.
Yeah, and strengthen
Alexandra.
their position.
Okay.
Did you guys like Catelyn?
Joey didn't. I did.
Not a single. I don't think I ever did.
I did
Ever.
too. Catelyn was a character that, in the short time she was on the show, she really grew on me over time. The scene that
So many dumbass.
it happened
mistakes
so
were made
early,
because of her.
but when
Rob literally is
when
judged
she
because of
grabbed
her.
the blade with her bare hands, I was like, yeah, she's good.
She's a badass woman, but her.
She made mistakes, yeah, but I think she was one of the more good at heart.
Yes. I
So-
love her as a mother figure. She should have been nowhere near
No.
any war decisions.
Yeah,
Nowhere
yeah.
fucking near. And she was all up in and fucking up war decisions. Literally, I don't want to get back to it. It's still soon, guys. I'm still blaming her for Robin Tillis' death.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly blame her for Robin. Also, Rob's cockiness, but I'll give Rob's cockiness maybe 20%.
And she also treated Jon Snow like shit. But
That's not even, yeah.
That-
and then that's Jon Snow. Yeah. Let's not even
if
get
she had
into
known
that.
the truth about Jon Snow, would she have?
no.
Exactly.
Which is fucked up too.
Because that was her nephew. She would not have treated him like a piece of shit.
No.
Yes, but her death scene was one of the best in TV.
Yeah.
We agree. Though I despise the character the most in the entire series, but this is because it's one of those moments where the books has influenced my opinion forever. Are you talking about Catelyn? You despise her? Huh.
Yeah. I mean, she made some very, very stupid decisions.
Yes, yes.
There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
She was...
And the only reason she hated Talissa was because it reminded her of his infidelity. And that didn't even fucking happen. So she hated... I'm sorry.
Well, no. She was not a huge fan of Talissa because Rob had promised to marry one of the Freys.
Yeah, but remember, she also did like Talissa, and she admitted to Talissa that Talissa reminded her of the woman, or of a woman like... Remember when they're sitting there talking, and she's like...
Yeah, I remember
she's
that.
like, and then...
Well, I thought she was just talking about how much she hated John.
But why does she... The reason she hates John is because it reminds her of the infidelity.
Yeah.
That. But I'm saying I also think that's why she's frustrated with Talissa as well.
All right. Littlefinger is way better in the books. The way they killed him off was a bit weak. Wondering how things would have been if he teamed up with Cersei as a last resort.
That would have been a strong coupling, but I still don't see... I loved his kill.
I don't think they would have worked. I think both Cersei and Littlefinger...
I'm interested... sorry, continue.
I think they're one of... I think they're two of the most selfish characters in the entire series. Especially now that Cersei has no kids. Like, she's all for herself.
Yeah.
And so was Littlefinger. So, yes, they're both really powerful, but there's a lot of me in that situation.
Yeah, I'm just very interested to see how George R.R. Martin kills Littlefinger, because if he told them that Littlefinger dies, or maybe that was completely out of the they just did that on their own. Maybe he wasn't too integral to the story or whatever. But I don't know. I was not I kind of agree. I was not a huge fan of how he died, because, I mean, yeah, he got played at his own game. Like they were talking behind,
But it wasn't a huge. You're right. It wasn't very intricate.
It could have. I feel it could have been better, because the way it was shown on screen, they were purposely hiding information from the viewers, of Arya and Sansa working together on this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked the fact that it happened.
Plus, they could have built up. I mean, they did use like 2 episodes, but they could have built up Arya's and Sansa's tension even more so, and like played into that a little bit more. Like they did spend 2 episodes kind of like letting it up to like expect you to think that Arya was gonna get killed by Sansa, but it wasn't that long. You weren't that worried. I also still felt like that they were like gonna something was gonna get fixed.
Don't get me started, Joey. She made even more dumb arse mistakes in the books. She was a good mother to her children, but that's it. Awful to Jon, raised Sansa abysmally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sansa,
she was fucked up to every single one of her kids except Robin, even though she wasn't fucked up directly to Rob, she was indirectly. And Bran, oh man, don't even get me started. I fucking so many times I was mad at her.
Sansa's speech when they took down Littlefinger was very well constructed. It arched over the entire program with a mix of legal accuracy and acerbic personal vehemence.
Yeah, I think that was that might have been the strongest scene for Sansa in the entire show.
I think a lot of people are talking about with Kat. She's more likable in the series than she is in the books.
That's crazy, because I didn't even like her in the series. I would have hated her in the books. I'd have been mad every time I read her name. So, God damn it, they're still talking about her.
Jerry, you're right, dude. Everything Sansa said during Littlefinger's trial is a hammer blow. Her word is her sword. Yeah. That scene is amazing.
And it was almost like her finally grabbing back her power. I feel like it was a big power move for her inside to like be able to finally like outsmart Littlefinger and to like finally beat him in his own game, because she'd been getting played by him the entire time.
It wasn't a play. Sansa figured out in the last episode, verified it with Bran. So maybe that kind of, because what I really love now that the siblings are all together again is to go with what you're saying, Jerry. Her word is her sword. Yes, she is definitely the politic, but now she has Arya, who's the assassin, and now she has Bran, who's like the knowledge and the advisor. and that like the three of them together is going to be like a wrecking crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
And then you get John, who is like the hero. He's like the hero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's the guy who's actually like he's going to be the guy who's out in the front of the battle. Arya will be doing the assassinations in the back.
What if she use Littlefinger's face in the future?
Oh, 100% she's using that guy's face.
Oh, if she goes to Cersei as Littlefinger?
Yeah.
Because Cersei hasn't known that Littlefinger is. But I wonder if Arya will get played and get killed because of that. Like, what happens if Arya accidentally gets while being Littlefinger?
What does happen if you get like stabbed or something while you're wearing a face? I'm assuming you just die. I know it's probably
yeah, because remember when Jaqen, not really Jaqen, took the potion and died, and then Jaqen just appeared somewhere else.
Yeah.
And she's like, but wait, who is this guy? And then just started taking off a bunch of faces off.
Yeah, and it was just a ton of faces.
What do you? I know, I remember that. What are you trying to say?
The faces stayed on her, stayed on that person until she took the faces off. So whatever face you died with, unless someone takes it off.
Yeah.
Normally not very observant, but I did hear those Raven calls during season 7 Littlefinger scenes.
What do you? Oh, okay.
Catelyn's diehard love for her children is amazing. However, she shouldn't have determined Robb's war strategies.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Arya was very annoying this last season. Sansa would have been justified to off Arya after all those threats, especially because they didn't know each other anymore.
I don't know. I don't agree.
I mean, in Sansa's own defense, it would have made sense, but it wouldn't have been morally just.
It's been like, I don't know how much time has passed, but it had been 7 or 6 seasons since they have seen each other. You're right. They don't know each other anymore. They grew up in completely different ways. You have Sansa, who was raped and tortured and watched her father die in front of her and probably took a lot of the blame for it. Then you have Arya, who became like an assassin and is hardened by like in other ways.
Imagine if Robert married.
And she got to her family and then got ripped away so many times. So I don't think it would have been justified to kill Arya, and I don't even think she was annoying. I just think they're very different people who had to learn to know each other again.
Well, they were building that antagonism, though.
They were doing that.
They were trying to get you to think
exactly. They were trying to think that they were trying to make the viewer think that there was some real chance that they were not gonna see eye to eye.
Right. Littlefinger only died because all-knowing Bran is a thing. That's anticlimactic. If they wanted to show Sansa as the clever one, she should have beaten Peter Baelish by herself.
Also true.
Yeah, I think that might also be part of it. Mm-hmm. Imagine if Robert married Catelyn and Ned married Cersei.
I have a quick question. In the I don't remember the episode, guys, so like, please refresh my memory. In the episode where Littlefinger dies, is it made clear that Bran is the one who told them?
Yeah.
What happened? I've literally only seen that clip once, so I don't remember.
Yeah, and it's been a year.
Is it assumed that he just told them, or
no? I think they did some like flashbacks of Bran telling her stuff.
Okay.
Maybe when he was like in the wheelchair at the tree. I think they flashed back to that scene or something like that. But back to this Robert marrying Catelyn and Ned marrying Cersei. Because originally, Ned was not supposed to marry Catelyn. His brother was supposed to marry Catelyn.
Yeah, the older brother.
And then he got killed by the Mad King. So by duty, Ned ended up marrying Catelyn. But if Ned married Cersei, oh my god.
I don't see that one.
Was that what was supposed to happen?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know either.
Robert was only promised Cersei because Robert was upset that Ned's sister, who he was betrothed to or in love with, what's her name again? Ned's sister.
Oh, Lyanna?
Lyanna. Lyanna got, supposedly killed by...
Well, the thing was, like, it's weird. I always found that kind of weird because, like, Robert was so in love with her, but she didn't like
Left him back.
Yeah, like...
Which I think was weird for Ned, too.
Yeah.
Never thought about the Sansa government Arya military Bran intelligence thing.
Thank you.
American nationalist. Rob should have taken counsel from other experienced generals in the North, ones who were close with his father.
Very true.
True.
Yep.
Jerry. Arya played the game of faces with Sansa and realized she told her the truth and gave the dagger to her. She believed her.
Wait, what?
Arya played the game of faces. You remember the game of faces where, like, the waif would ask Arya questions, and every time she would lie, she would slap her hand.
Okay, yeah.
She played the game of faces with Sansa and realized Sansa wasn't lying.
About what?
One of their conversations.
Well, because Littlefinger was trying to pit them against each other and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and
Then yeah, so they discovered it themselves without Bran. Okay. Then yeah, then I mean they did. So Sansa didn't play the game, Peter's game against him and win, but they did it together, which is good.
Rob should have kept Lord Roose Bolton at a distance and made an alliance with Renly.
He tried to.
Forgot about Renly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had a lot of the Baratheon support.
Yeah, but that was
Or,
no,
well,
no.
not a lot of the Baratheon.
No, because
Stannis.
I'm gonna.
But,
we don't
like,
have to get into
Renly
it.
was
But
getting with
since
High
I'm a
Guard.
little touchy about that whole little time period, we'll get into it. No, he shouldn't have, and that's what I was mad about Catelyn, because Catelyn did that without fucking talking to Rob. She just went to fucking talk to Renly and went to go try to establish an ally. When if you turn your back on the people in the North, they're not going to support you, and if you have no support from your own homeland, you're not going to have any support from people away. So he should have just stayed with the North like he does in the fucking first place. He should have killed what's his name way back when, even though now he has such a pivotal role and everything. But he should have killed, or he should have used to get his sister back. He should have used
Jamie
to get his sister back, and they should have taken King's Landing, and everything would have been much better. And then once you're in King's Landing, then you get the Baratheons' help. Then you use.
These are a lot of ifs.
Yeah, I know these are a lot of ifs. I'm just saying that is the order in which it should have been done, not the way she fucking did it. Anyways, who cares? It's not that.
He tried to make an alliance with Renly, but Renly went and died.
True.
Actually.
Ned would have married Ashara Dane, right?
Dane is the
Arthur Dane.
Arthur Dane,
The
fucking
dual-wielder.
dual wielding sword guy, right?
Yeah.
That would have is it his daughter, cousin? Because that would have been kind of funny. Because like,
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah.
well, you have to marry this dual wielding sword guy who almost killed you, his daughter, or something like that.
Bran showed his hand during the trial. You held a knife to his throat. You said, I did warn you not to trust me. Yeah, Bran told everyone everything about Littlefinger in the main hall. There wasn't a scene with Bran telling Sansa anything, but I heard that might have been a deleted scene. Maybe that's what
I'll definitely look it up if when the season 7 deleted scenes come out. I definitely want to see.
Cersei was raised thinking that she would marry Rhaegar. Bran can only know something if he goes to find it.
Very good point,
Sansa
Jerry.
went to find him and asked him to look. Think of Bran as a filing cabinet with info. It was Sansa's win. Okay.
Thank you, Jerry.
I feel for Ashara, Arthur Dane's sister.
Okay.
She really was a tragic character who lost her love, her brother, and the woman she served, Princess Elia.
Oh, the one that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She got raped by the mountain, right?
Elia.
Elia got raped by
Yeah.
them. Renly would have died. Rob should have married Marjorie.
I agree with you.
Oh my god.
If Rob had married Marjorie, they would have
That'd
had
been
a
crazy.
major power. Like the power would have been there.
But how would they have crossed the bridge?
True.
The phrase, they needed to cross the bridge.
They should have just taken the fucking.
They should have just killed the
enough.
phrase.
That's my point. They had enough too, and they could have taken it.
Yeah, but the Starks wouldn't do that.
You're right. They wouldn't. But
And
I'm saying
that's
they
why
should.
there was their weakness. There's their weakness.
They
in
have
this
too much
was.
pride.
Well, too
Rob
loyal,
sent
too
Cat-
loyal to their word.
Rob sent
Except
Cat to
Rob
speak with
broke
Renly.
his word. That's weird.
Did
Rob
he?
sent Cat.
Sorry, did he?
Rob was the one that sent Catelyn to negotiate with Renly.
There's two against one.
Yes.
Or was it? There's two against one. Was it?
Bye, Jerry.
See you, Jerry. Thank
Bye,
you.
Jerry. I thought it was. Or was it when she went to speak with Stannis? One of the times she snuck away. So it wasn't Renly, was it Stannis that she snuck away too? Remember? She talked to Littlefinger. Am I bugging? Littlefinger brought her the fucking crate of something?
Well, that was Ned's bones.
Yeah, but remember she snuck away from Rob against his...
That was to make the trade of Jamie.
Yeah, that was for
that's
Jamie.
what I'm saying. Okay,
That
I thought
wasn't
that was
Renly. Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of Stannis. Excuse me, you're right. That was to Stannis that she went, not Renly. You're right. I meant Stannis.
Merat to Alexandra. You believe the Septa Lemora theory. What is that?
Love to hear it. I love theories.
So, American nationalists. So not only Bran's sisters know about his powers, some lords of the North and the Vale are aware of his powers as well.
At least they're all allies.
If they believe him that he saw the...
Yes, that's true.
Again, it's still a kid saying, I saw this.
Yeah, true.
Cersei was always told by Tywin that she would marry Rhaegar. When Tywin asked the Mad King, he laughed and said, I won't marry my son to a servant's daughter. It was never official. Cool.
Wait, what does that mean? So, the Mad King, who was referring to as a servant's daughter? Tywin was his servant, and the daughter was Cersei?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this was one of the reasons Tywin had Elia killed, because she married Rhaegar, taking Cersei's place.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. Tywin knew how to play the game.
Yeah. So, we're at 3 o'clock. You said you work at 5?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably heading out soon.
Joey, do you work tonight?
Yes.
What time?
8.
8, okay. So we're probably gonna, we've been at it in 13 seconds for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good time to kind of shut this down now. And then, do you want to watch History and Lore Season 7?
I'm down, yeah. I don't know if we did 6 yet, but if we did 6...
Yeah, I'll check in the files. I'll check in the videos.
Yeah. But either way, we'll watch the next History and Lore. I'm down.
Sweet. All right. Well, until next time, thank you guys. We are back.
We are back.
I'm going to start releasing stuff again soon, and then it's going to be...
You just have to be more vigilant about the copywriting stuff.
Yes. Yeah, the copyright is the big issue. And I'm going to just be exactly 10 minutes with a timer in the down right corner so that...
We've been fighting lawsuits all year.
Yeah. So Westworld Season 1, Episode 7 got removed. Season 2, Episode 1 got removed. There was a few Game of Thrones Season 6 episodes that got removed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who do they think they are? I make this show.
So
take me down.
But yeah, we are going to be more diligent with that so that hopefully we don't get copyright stuff on us.
Yeah, right.
So until next time, Valar Udlises.
Valar Udlises.
I haven't had to say that in a while.
I know,
Bye.
Right? Yeah, he doesn't get to say it.